Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Grevlin coming to you from Chicago. As usual, it's Friday. It's happy hour. Get your goats. We're going in. We're gonna go visit our good friend Judge Manning. I saw about 2 minutes of this. It's a long call, but I hear there are good things on it. I hear there are good things. I make no guarantees. I make none. Also, poached a clip from Just Karis. Haven't done that in a long time. Her channel's there, and I got Judge Manning through Biggin. So this happy hour is partially sponsored by Biggin 2 Electric Boogaloo. But before all that, if you didn't know, on the members area today, we opened up with Judge Manning. So I have Yesenia saying pretrial in Spanish, and by request, I threw I threw up a minute long the making of pretrial in Spanish. It's good stuff. If you happen to see it, you might want to give that a look. Let's get this party started, shall we? How about pretrial?
Juicio preliminary. I want to do it in the.
No one's name is RVVL, whatever it says. If you need me to change your name, I'll do it for free. Your mother did not name you that. It needs to be your name, not REVVLV. Guest. You need to change your screen name to your name. Stop walking around. You got to have light in front of your face. And
we start real rough here.
Everybody has to turn their camera on. Going on 3 years, people. Learn how to work Zoom. Turn your cameras on. Miss Dukes, I got to see your face. You're backlit. Get back in front of the camera, everybody. Miss Dukes, get back in front of the camera. Tamika Hart, turn your camera on. Tamika Hart, turn your camera on.
I'm trying to cut it on now.
Don't take yourself off mute. Just turn your camera on. Everybody, your camera's on, and you have to stay on mute. Miss Cargill, are you sick? Take yourself off mute, Miss Cargill. Are you sick?
Yes, yes.
Well, okay. No, if you don't feel well, that's fine. If you don't feel well, please, I know. I got the flu myself. I would be laying down if I could.
Okay.
Feel free to lay down.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man with the glasses. I don't know where you're at. You're outside. It says RVVLV. And you're looking around, not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're at a door. What's your name? Ma'am, you're walking around outside. What's your name? Ma'am, you're on mute. What is your name? Okay, you're on mute. Never mind. You're on mute, ma'am. Take yourself off mute.
Oh, okay. My name is Denise Manlius.
Malleus. All right. Place yourself back on mute.
Okay, I don't even know how to do that. Oh, God. I'm 60 years old. I don't know much about these phones.
That's young. You're very young.
I know, and I don't have no internet knowledge at all. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You're very young, ma'am. You're doing fantastic. All right, let's see. When I call your name, take yourself off mute.
Judge Manning's just giving up. She's like, okay, whatever. Then don't do it. I don't know. I don't care. I'm too sick today to deal.
And say here, please leave your cameras on. Tamika Hart, you got to
I'm trying.
You got to figure out, log out and log back on, but you got to figure it out. Can't see you, can't be here. Yasmin Dukes.
I'm actually here on her behalf. She's in active labor. Is there a way I can reschedule?
She's where?
She's in active labor.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you can't be on her behalf.
Good morning. Your name? Full name, sir?
My name is Carlos Lorenzo of the family Durham.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Durham, and good morning, sir. You have a number of matters for failing to appear at the 36th District Court we'll handle in a moment, and then you have warrants for arrest we'll handle right now, Mr. Durham. We'll handle these one at a time, sir. If you have any questions, just let us know. First, on this matter, Mr. Durham, these allegations, you're going to be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount. Court scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend February 14th. That's a Tuesday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Evans via Zoom at 9:30. Understood? Understood, Mr. Durham, February 14th. Thank you. As with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing can will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney, have one present during questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights?
Direct all complaints to Just Cares.
Is that a yes? Yes. Okay, one moment, Mr. Durham. Okay, thank you, Mr. Durham, for your patience, sir. And on these matters, the court is scheduling a pretrial February 14th, and this is in regard to case B124588121. August 25th, 2021, no dog license, same date, time, and location for B124582221, August 25th, 2021, failed to vaccinate dog against rabies and or provide proof of vaccination. These are misdemeanor allegations carrying up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail is a maximum fine and penalty. Court, recall your warrant, set aside capious, enter plea of not guilty on each open matter. As a reminder, sir, you're receiving a personal bond, no dollar amount, pretrial date via Zoom, February 14th, 8:30, Judge Evans, 36th District Court. Okay, you have 3 additional matters, one at a time. State your full name, Mr. Durham.
Lorenzo of the family Durham.
Thank you. And this is first on case 20045322301, People State of Michigan versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham, also known as Carlos Lorenzo Durham, Carlos Durham, Carlos Lorenzo Durham.
It's Lorenzo of the family Durham.
For waive formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty. Mr. Durham, the court scheduling a pretrial date on this matter via Zoom. You must attend February the 27th, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant. Understood?
Oh,
I hear you. Who's the prosecutor?
he's in front of Bryant.
I
didn't
don't know,
notice that.
Mr. Durham. I'm not sure. They rotate out, so I'm not sure who the prosecutor is on that, going to be on that date and time. Not guilty, please enter anything as to the capious.
Your Honor, on the Judge Bryant case, correct?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the Judge Bryant case, Your Honor, this court does have authority to change the bond at any time. The state is 65 years old. He's self-employed fixing things, so doesn't have an income in the post. He does suffer from high blood pressure and diabetes.
Please mark all Mr. Durham's filed medicals reasons stated by counsel. Sorry about that. Thank you.
And there's a little bit of issue to this case.
Okay. I just saw this one time before. I did not catch that he got set on some matters in front of Judge Bryant. I got to see Mr. Durham here in front of Judge Bryant.
Thank you. And this is a very serious non-assaultive allegation, Mr. Durham, and the court has concerns that you missed a court date on this matter, as well as 2 other matters that we're about to handle. And your capious history, Mr. Durham, tells the court you do not listen to the court as ordered to appear, and that's concerning where if the court were to release you on another personal bond, sir, you treat it as you have in the past and disregard court's orders and simply not appear. And that's unacceptable, Mr. Durham. You must appear as ordered. So the court, based on your capious history, taking into consideration information presented by counsel, including that limit to employment status as relates to ability to post bond, the nature of the charge, as well as the information alleged in the investigator's report, is setting, based on your capious history, is going to continue the bond set by Judge Bryant of 110%. Is that an affordable bond?
It's not.
Okay, so on that matter, the court is setting an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing.
That's probably my
Mr.
friend
Durham,
Land.
and that is going to
All
be
I can think of.
scheduled 2 days from today, January the 19th, 2023 at 9:30 via Zoom in front of Judge Bryant. During this bond, you are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and you are not to drive any motor vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license. Is that understood?
I don't drive, Your Honor. I travel. I'm not driving ever again in life. I travel, so I don't need a license to travel.
Do you? Well, yes, you do, Mr. Durham. There's no traveling behind a motor vehicle. I'm not arguing with you, Mr. Durham. I'm telling. Excuse me?
I've already read the Supreme Court case law. I have a right to travel, sir.
Okay, well, I have a right to impose bond and conditions of bond, Mr. Durham, and I'm telling you, whether you call it traveling or driving, there's to be none of that behind a motor vehicle. You're not to travel if you're operating a motor vehicle or drive. No driving or operating of a motor vehicle, regardless of what you call it. Understood, Mr. Durham? No driving or traveling if you're the operator. Is that clear? And you're not to leave the state of Michigan. Is that understood?
I heard you.
There we go.
That's no driving, period.
Here's SovCit.
That's regardless of your license status. There's to be absolutely no driving.
I heard you instead of I
Or
understand.
traveling.
Mhm.
Okay, I said no traveling either.
This is each. Driving is
No traveling. Put that as a bond order. No traveling.
So that means I can't even go to court if I can't travel. I can't leave my
It's
house.
via Zoom. It's via Zoom. It's via Zoom. No traveling. The court dates are via Zoom. No traveling unless court ordered.
That's a violation of my rights. And I will appeal this in a higher court.
Mr. Durham,
Okay.
everything you say right now kind of will be used against you, okay? For your own protection, please don't say anything.
It's legal in 8 states.
Live on YouTube, it's all part of the record. I issue the argument for you to exercise the right to remain silent as for your own protection.
Did you want to address this traveling?
You can't really hear it in the background. His attorney's, well, I'll paraphrase. The attorney's telling him to shut up.
Counsel,
I'm sorry.
did you want to address his argument that he can't, that he can travel?
He's going to comply with court orders.
And that means no driving and no traveling. Is that correct? Counsel? No traveling. Unless court ordered.
The state of Michigan.
Yes, I can't leave the state of Michigan, and he cannot, would he drive or travel, which my understanding is him operating any motor vehicles. Is that understood? Thank you. Okay, we have two cases that are going to Judge Sabri. We'll call those one at a time. Okay, first we're handling case 22058771001, People State of Michigan versus Carlos Durham. Appearance, please. Court waive formal reading, enter plea of not guilty. Court scheduling 2 court dates, probable cause January 25th via Zoom, 8:30. Judge Sabri, you have a right to a preliminary examination in person February 1st. That's Judge Sabri in person, 36th District Court on January 25th and February the 1st, 8:30. Not guilty, please enter anything as to the bond.
Your Honor, respectfully, we be asking for personal bond support of the court to change the bond. I know that this court does not, we are told we need for and respectfully asking the court to recall the matter if we are able to change the bond.
Okay, Mr. Durham, this is a very serious allegations. Again, you have a capious history on this matter. The bond was set by the judge when you failed to appear. You have a number of capious histories on this matter. It looks like you were originally given a personal bond, then you failed to appear on about September 1st of 2022, given a 10,000 cash surety, and then you failed to appear again December 14th of 2022, and then a judge will give you another 10,000 cash surety. I, as a magistrate, as counsel stated, have no, one moment, I'll let you address the court. One moment, Mr. Durham. Have no authority to amend the capious bond as set by the judge for your failure to appear. So for that reason, the bond is going to be continued as set by the judge of December 14, 2022 in the amount of $10,000 cash surety.
Have you ever had a failure to appear?
Possibly. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. No driving, no traveling unless court ordered. You will be fit with the GPS tether under house arrest if you're able to make bond. And no use of any alcohol or illegal controlled substance. Is there anything further, counsel?
We had a woman tell Judge Bryant she appreciated her yesterday. That was rock solid.
Heather, Your Honor.
He's missed court in every matter before the court this morning, so no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I haven't.
Anything?
I done came to court a couple times on Zoom, on a tether. I done been to court.
But not all of the times it does not appear, Mr. Durham. It looks like you've missed court more than once on that matter that we just handled. Anything else on
I
this
missed
matter,
court on
counsel?
the count of the county jail. I missed court on the count of the county jail. They wouldn't take me to court. I missed court because of the county jail would not take me to court. That's not my fault.
And Mr. Durham, the court is going to schedule and it is unaffordable.
It is unaffordable.
The court is scheduling an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing, and that will, if you're unable to make bond, you'll have a redetermination hearing this Thursday, January 19th, 2023 at 9:30 in front of Judge Sabri. Anything further on this matter, counsel?
Nothing further.
And then the other matter for Judge, in front of Judge Sabri will have the same court date, and it's in regards to case 220599974, People State of Michigan versus Carlos Norenzo Durham, also known as Carlos Norenzo Durham, Carlos Norenzo with an M Durham. Appearance, please. Yes, ma'am. Court waive formal reading and or plea of not guilty. Mr. Durham, on this matter, sir, you have the same two court dates. January 25th via Zoom, that's a Wednesday, in front of Judge Sabri, 8:30 a.m. You have a right to a preliminary examination February the 1st. That's a Wednesday. That's in person, Judge Sabri, 8:30 a.m. February the 1st. January 25th via Zoom, February 1st, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Sabri. Not guilty, please enter. Anything else? Thank you. And Mr. Durham, the court has the same concerns, sir, that you've had a capias on this matter as well as the matters before the court previously, and that demonstrates to the court that you failed to appear as ordered, and that's concerning regarding your intention to appear and handle this matter. It looks like you're on a personal bond by an Honorable Magistrate Ramsey Heath,
Not
where
quite.
you failed to appear on or about December 14th, 2022, and a bond was issued at 10,000 cash surety. I, as a magistrate, have no authority to change that bond as set by the judge. So the bond is going to be continued, taking into consideration any employment status presented by counsel as it relates to ability to post bond, as well as your capias history. During this bond, no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. If you're able to make bond, you will be under house arrest fit with a GPS tether prior to release. There's to be no driving and no traveling unless court ordered.
Milo might make an appearance, Food Fairy. Just saying.
Anything further on this matter?
Nothing further.
You're welcome. Okay, any questions or statements, Mr. Durham? You are being recorded. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And on that matter as well, you're getting an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing on January the 19th, 2023, Judge Sabri at the 36th District Court via Zoom. Do you have any questions or statements, Mr. Durham?
Yes, I do. This question is to
Go
you,
ahead.
the magistrate.
Here we
Are you
go.
honoring your oath?
Mr. Durham, before you say anything,
This is
I
your
want to
turn.
remind you again, everything you say right now can and will be used against you. We're live, we're on YouTube. Please do not say anything, Mr. Durham. I don't want you to say anything at all, actually, because I try to protect you, okay?
That was your attorney speaking and giving you advice.
I exercise your right to remain silent, unless you have a question about bond or your next court date.
Conspiracy. Are you honoring your oath, sir?
I don't know what type of question that is, Mr. Durham. Do you have your counsel has indicated you have a right to remain?
Now you don't know what it means. You took an oath up over the Constitution, didn't you? Are you honoring
I
your
don't know
oath?
what the purpose. I don't know what the purpose. I'm not here to answer your questions. I can tell you that, Mr. Durham, as far as regarding the questions that don't have anything to do with the arraignment. I'm not here to just answer random general questions that have nothing to do with your arraignment, Mr. Durham. So if you have any questions regarding your arraignment or your court date, you can please let me know.
I want to know who you are. You won't tell me your name. You won't tell me if you're bonded. You're a public official. Are you bonded? Are
Mr.
you
Durham, I'm
bonded?
not going through. Mr. Durham, I'm not going through that. The
So you're
nature
not
of my
bonded.
employment.
You got to give me your bonding information, name, address, and your policy number so I can make sure you're adequately insured. Just in case you want to violate my rights, I got to make sure you're adequately insured. Are you a public official and are you insured?
Just in case.
My
I don't
name
know
is
why you
Chief
get mad.
Magistrate
It seems
Jeffrey
like you get
Coker.
mad 'cause
I've
I'm
answered
asking
that
this
question regarding binding, Mr. Durham. That's not something that's going to be addressed today.
So you're not going to put that on the record?
I'm just not entertaining a question that makes no sense during the arraignment, sir.
It makes no sense to ask you if you're bonded. And what's your bonding
If
information?
that
That
makes
don't
you
make no
happy,
sense.
Mr. Durham, I'm bonded if that makes you happy, Mr. Durham. I do have a valid bond as indicated by statute. Mr. Durham, I'm not getting into back and forth. Counsel, do you have anything further with Mr. Durham?
How about your policy number? How about the phone number of the bonding company? Can I have any of that so I can contact them? I got to be able to contact them. You're not going to give me none of that.
I gave you, I let you know I was bonded. My name is Chief Magistrate Coker at the 36th District Court. That's the information. Okay, Counsel, we should, or anything further? Mr. Durham, I've said more than once, we're not going through that here today on the record. So, Mr. Durham, if you have any questions about your arraignment or court dates, otherwise, we're through with the arraignment. Counsel, do you have anything further?
To give me the name of the bonding company.
Unless you have anything else, Mr. Durham, we're through with the arraignment, sir.
Amazing. Oh, I got to do that, man. I can't let you go.
Already in the house. Milo just told me to tell you to hit like and subscribe. And she's serious.
Here. And Toya Lee.
Here.
Ms. Lee, what, you just got served. Do you feel comfortable going forward?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Y'all stand by. Is there anyone's name on here that is a party that I did not call their name? I do not call witnesses. I only call parties. No? All right. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take the attorney case. So on everyone else, if you're not talking, if it's not your case, you can turn your camera off. I give you this one warning. Don't walk away. If you walk away and I call your name and you don't answer, I'll dismiss your case. So you better listen out for your name. I'm going to go ahead and hear both Rodriguez and the Meadows case. Also ask that you all pay very good attention and see what happens, how you ask a question, how you do things like that, how you present evidence, okay? Because you don't make this statement, I emailed you the evidence. That's not how it's done. So you got two excellent lawyers. So let's see how that goes. So if you're not on right now, feel free to turn your camera off. If you're driving and I turn your camera back on, if you're driving, I will remove you from this meeting. If you're taking a shower, doing anything you should not be doing other than sitting upright, I will kick you out of this meeting and it will be reset. And if you don't follow my instructions, better yet, you're going to come in person in my courtroom and learn how to act proper in a courtroom. Everybody got it? Perfect. All right. Both Rodriguez and Mr. Meadows, y'all can leave your cameras on. Ms. Kuhn, do you have any witnesses besides your clients?
No, Your Honor.
All right. What about you, Ms. Elwanger?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. If clients will raise their right hands. All right. Do y'all swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Mr. and Ms. Rodriguez, if you can take yourselves off mute.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. And Mr. Meadows. You're off mute, Mr. Meadows. Now you muted yourself.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. Y'all can all put your hands down.
Poor thing.
All right, Ms. Kuhn, Ms. Elwanger, are we going to have any opening arguments or are you going to just go straight into testimony?
Just a very brief opening, Your Honor, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
I represent Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez. They are neighbors with Mr. Kenneth Meadows. We are here on a stalking TPO on January 1st, just after fireworks. Mr. Meadows did approach my clients in their home and lured them out of their house and brandished a machete and threatened physical harm to them. As a result, the police were called. He was arrested and he is currently out on bond. We are asking the court issue the 12-month stalking TPO and award my clients $4,000 in attorney's fees for having to bring it.
All right, Ms. Elwanger.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Meadows was actually charged with battery. Do you have that case number? I can provide it.
No, if you go ahead, that'll be great.
Yes. It is, Well, it kicked me out of the system. It is in front of Judge Patsy Porter. It is 2 charges of misdemeanor battery.
Thanks
Okay.
to Knox County.
In that case,
This isn't my first
22
machete case.
Or 23 CR.
23 CR 0000012 B.
Okay.
He is set for arraignment February 27th, and he is currently under a no contact bond order.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Yesenia. Nice to see you.
Okay. I got it. Anything else you want to say in opening?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Coon. Call your first witness.
She
I call
wisely
Kenneth
ignored my
Meadows to the
invitation to
stand.
come on.
All right, Mr. Meadows. I guess since we're hearing them together, they can stay right beside each other. So, and if you folks will both do me a favor, just stick to what you did. Miss Coon will guide you through it. You don't, Mrs. Rodriguez, you don't tell me I have to say about him. He don't have to tell me about you. Okay, go ahead, Miss Coon.
Yeah, I called Mr. Meadows to the stand.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Meadows. Same thing. Go ahead, Mr. Meadows.
Please state.
And Mr. Meadows, Ms. Ellwanger may object. So once Ms. Coon asks a question, if you give pause just a brief second, give Ms. Ellwanger time to object, okay? Then let me rule on the objection and then answer. Just a short pause will be all it is. Go ahead, Ms. Coon.
And Judge, just for purposes of efficiency, when Sister Counsel and I connected yesterday and this morning, I am anticipating a Fifth Amendment privilege.
Okay.
That is correct, Your Honor. Under my advice, he is going to invoke the Fifth.
All right. So, Mr. Meadows, I'm sure Ms. Ellwanger advised you that if you invoke your Fifth Amendment right not to answer a question, I can take a negative inference from you invoking your Fifth Amendment right.
Interesting
Okay.
to watch this play out.
Okay.
I did see a bit of this.
Okay.
And I'm purposely going to go very slowly so that
Very professionally handled
his
on both
rights are
sides.
protected, Judge.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Meadows, on the morning of January 1st, did you cross the street to the Rodriguez home?
And Your Honor, again, my client will be invoking his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination.
Okay.
On the morning of January 1st, did you brandish a machete in front of Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez?
Same objection, Your Honor. He is invoking his Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
On the morning of January 1st,
We'll
you
infer
were
that as a yes.
intoxicated.
Same objection.
Okay.
On the morning of January 1st, you did grab Miss Rodriguez by her neck.
Same objection.
Okay.
On the morning of January 1st, you did push Miss Rodriguez to the ground.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, you did grab Mr. Rodriguez by the neck.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, you did rip off the gold chain that was around Mr. Rodriguez's neck.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, your children called you from your home.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, you were at a bar.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, your wife and 2 children crossed the street to Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez's home.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, you told the Rodriguez family that you had more weapons in your home.
Same objection.
On the morning of
that's a deal
January
breaker.
1st, you left the Rodriguez residence.
Same objection.
After you
birthday,
left on the
Elizabeth.
morning of
Thank
January 1st, you returned to the Rodriguez residence.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, when you returned, you brandished a machete a second time in front of the Rodriguez family.
Same objection.
When you returned on the morning of January 1st, your son had a baseball bat.
Same objection.
On the morning of January 1st, when you and your son returned, Your son brandished a baseball bat.
Same objection.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
All right. Any questions from you, Ms. Elwanger?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Kuhn.
Your Honor, I believe that we have made a prima facie case for stalking. If the court wants, I can call my clients.
Ms. Elwanger.
Your Honor, we would oppose that notion. There has been, like I said, to meet the evidence required for stalking, there would either need to be one of two things. One would be a violation of a bond order, which there has been no evidence presented that that was the case, or otherwise that Mr. Meadows did harassing and intimidating conduct toward the Rodriguezes by showing a pattern of harassing and intimidating behavior. And as far as any questions that were presented, it was to one incident, which he was arrested for and has not violated his bond for, Your Honor.
Ms. Kuhn, do you want to go ahead and call your client and ask them about any other incidents they've had with him?
Yes, if I could briefly respond to
Sure.
Ms. Elwanger.
Yeah.
It actually creates a pattern when the presumption arises that he came to the residence, he brandished the weapon, and then he left my client's residence, and then he returned brandishing his machete and his son with a baseball bat.
Your Honor, and for the record, this was all on the same day, and he is charged with misdemeanor battery.
Ms. Kuhn.
Okay, this is about as much as I saw, but great attorneys on both sides so far. It doesn't look like it. You wonder why she's asking questions. Anyway, it's because of the negative inference. You don't get the negative inference if you don't ask the question, so they have to assert the privilege. She does that, but she does it in a controlled way. The attorney knows how she's handling it. She's asserting Fifth Amendment on everything, deals with it. Then they both make good arguments as a matter of law, best arguments I can think of for their positions.
You want me to call my
Yes,
client?
go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to call Miss Gina Rodriguez. If you could take yourself off of mute.
Yes,
and you
ma'am.
are under oath.
Okay.
Can you briefly tell us what happened on we're going to call it New Year's Eve of 2022, 2023?
So I am sitting in my living room. Well, I'll start back a little bit. Around 11:30 up until midnight, my husband and I and my 12-year-old set off some fireworks in our driveway. Brown fireworks, bought at Costco. We finished up actually at 12:06. I remember because we came in and we were a couple minutes late. We said Happy New Year, and I went to go sit on my couch. My husband went up to our den off our bedroom. My kids went down to their rooms. My 3 children were home. About a little after 12:30, I heard the doorbell ring. It's dark outside. I'm sorry. Yeah, 12:30. So 12:36, somewhere around there. I walked to the front door. The doorbell rings like 2 or 3 times. It's, and so I walked to the front door. I see Mr. Meadows at the front door. It's light, of course, in my entranceway and dark outside. I walk out to the front yard and he just starts screaming at me. He starts yelling at me that I set his house on fire. Like, I look across the street and there's no fire. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what happened.
Oh, he sounds,
At this point, did he appear to be intoxicated?
Yes, and he was like very like up in my face. I'm standing like 6 inches from my front door, and he's like right there in front of me, so I couldn't move.
And because we're on a screen, how tall are you, Ms. Rodriguez?
I'm 5'6".
And approximately how much do you weigh?
I weigh 165 pounds.
And approximately how tall is Mr. Meadows?
Maybe 5'8".
And approximately how much does he weigh?
Maybe like 180 pounds.
And so you're about 6 inches from your front door. Where is Mr. Meadows?
Maybe less than a foot in front of me. Right at the bottom of my, I have a little small step area and he's standing right in front of it.
Could you be a little more southern?
And then what happened?
So, and then he continues to like yell and scream at me. His, wife starts coming over. And then I think my husband hears the commotion from upstairs and comes down onto the front step. My 16-year-old son comes down. He, in kind of the middle of all this, He continues to scream at me and my husband.
Okay, I'm sorry. Content warning. You might learn something. The only thing that's going on with the Fifth Amendment is he can assert a Fifth Amendment privilege to not incriminate himself in a criminal matter, but this is a civil matter. So in a civil matter, you can take a negative inference by them asserting their Fifth Amendment privilege. You cannot do so in a criminal matter. And that's precisely what just happened.
And his wife is standing in our yard screaming at us. And then he, while my husband is still on our front step, he like grabs towards my husband at his chest. And my husband—
Who is the he?
Sorry, Mr. Meadows grabs at my husband on his chest, and my husband's trying to keep his arms on his side. We're trying to de-escalate the situation because we're scared, very scared.
Put on desk order, IG.
Scared I've ever been in my life. And then he like steps back a little bit. And my husband, we told our son, call the police and get in the house and stay in the house. My husband tells me to go inside, but I just tell my son to call the police, and I come back outside because I didn't want to leave him alone because I was scared for his safety. So, and then he continues, and his family continues to scream at us. His sons come over into the front yard.
You have to say who.
Sorry. Mr. Meadows' sons come over into our front yard. And so then my husband, Kenneth, backs up a little bit. My husband moves slightly to the left. And then he goes after my husband again. And my husband, he grabs him by the chest again. And my husband moves backwards to try and get away from him. All of the time, he still has the machete in his right hand. And I am scared that that Kenneth is going to kill me. And
Can you please describe the machete to the court?
It was a long black weapon. My husband asked him, "What do you have in your hand?" And he said, "It's a machete, and I have more weapons in my house."
And did the boys have anything in their hand?
Not at that point, but the son went and got a baseball bat and came out.
Okay. And so after he grabbed your husband the second time by the neck, what happened?
So I yelled at him. I said, "Get the hell off my property and stay off my husband. Leave us alone." And he grabbed me by the neck like he was going to choke me with his left hand. Mr. Meadows did, while he had the machete in his right hand. I tried to move backwards to get away from him, and he was like grabbing and pushing me, and I fell on the ground and hurt my back.
Did anything happen while you were on the ground?
No.
And then what happened?
This guy's lucky.
And so then he started to, my husband,
please.
Sorry, Mr. Meadows, was him and his wife and his kids were still screaming at us. His son said, "Stay away from my father." And he's like 2 feet or a foot next to him. And I don't know his children's names. My husband turns on his video camera and starts videotaping them. They go to walk away. At that point, the other son comes out with a baseball bat in his hand. And this is all over a period of about 5 minutes. And my husband starts to videotape him, and he says, "You're leaving now, or are you leaving now? And why?" And he said, "Well, because either me or my husband," and I apologize because I can't remember, said, "Is that because the police are coming?" And then he comes back to my husband, like steps towards my husband, threatening him, holding the machete in his hand and saying basically like he's not scared of the police in general. I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, "You grabbed me by the neck." And then he left.
And then what happened?
Within 30 seconds, the police were here.
And was somebody arrested?
Mr. Meadows was arrested on 2 counts of battery.
Did Mr. Meadows' behavior cause you any type of emotional distress?
Serious. Yes, I had to see a psychiatrist and a counselor. I'm now on anxiety medicine. I work from home, so I'm struggling because I'm home alone during the day, and I'm scared to go to my front yard.
And why are you scared to go to your front yard?
I'm scared he'll come out and something will happen. The police took 5 minutes to get here. I'll be dead in 5 minutes.
Is this the first time that you've ever had an altercation or an event with Mr. Meadows?
Yes, with anyone.
And was this the first time that you had ever spoken with Mr. Meadows?
It One time, I think is the only other time I spoke to him, I
It was
work
honest.
for a charity called She Is Safe. And I volunteer for them. And so I was walking around providing pamphlets and trying to collect funds for the charity. Other than that, maybe waving, driving by, we didn't really speak.
And
That was not the answer
are
her
you
attorney was looking
concerned
for.
that if
It
the
was
court
honest.
does not
It was
grant
true.
this stalking order, that he is going to continue harassing you?
Yes,
You are aware he has bond conditions right now.
I understand that he is out on bond, but I'm not familiar with bond conditions.
That's all I have.
All right, Cross, Ms. Elwanger.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rodriguez, when Mr. Meadows approached your door, he approached your door and asked you about your fireworks setting his bushes on fire, correct?
No, he actually said, you set my house on fire.
And Mr. Meadows, in fact, had to put out a fire at his home from the fireworks?
I am not aware of that. I never went on any of his property or saw it, so I couldn't answer to that. I know the police checked and they told me there was no fire and put in the police report, which I've reviewed.
When the police came, did you deny medical treatment?
I did. I had a ton of anxiety.
And Mr. Meadows has had no contact with you since this event on January 1st?
That's correct.
Can you tell me the proximity of Mr. Meadows' house to yours?
I can look at it now. I mean, I don't know feet distance.
Are you next door neighbors, across the street neighbors?
Across the street neighbors. His house is directly across from mine.
No further questions.
Anything else, Ms. Kuhn?
Since the issuance of the ex parte stalking order, has Mr. Meadows approached within 200 yards of your home?
Yes, I've seen him out on the driveway. I am constantly checking my window. His car he parks his truck directly in front of my office window where I work.
He doesn't park the truck in the driveway?
No, he parks it directly in front of my office window.
And approximately how far is that from your window?
I would say, I don't know, maybe 50. It's like I have a small front yard and then there's a standard size street, maybe 50 to 100 feet. If that.
That's all I have.
Anything else, Ms. Elwanger?
Yeah.
Ms. Rodriguez, just for clarification, Mr. Meadows' home is less than 200 yards from yours.
Correct.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Elwanger, I don't know if you've looked at his bond conditions. His bond condition says stay 200 yards away. I don't know if you represented him in that criminal case, but.
I did, Your Honor, and it was clarified that they were neighbors and that they understood that that was not an enforceable bond condition at their home, but that was to be out in public.
So I would just say, take your everyday officer friendly, maybe you want to call back and it looks like Judge Morrow, whoever, somebody to say, something at home. Because if not, being there, he's in violation.
Come on.
There's not going to be officer friendly. He wasn't there in court to hear what that was. You just never know which cop's going to respond.
I understand that, Your Honor. And unfortunately, they did not send me a copy of the bond order. But now that it is in Judge Porter's courtroom, I'm sure I can get a solicitor to clarify.
Yeah, you might want to get it amended or something.
I can, Your Honor, because obviously it's impossible for him to live with a 200-yard condition.
No, yeah, on here.
That doesn't.
If you put your email in the chat, I can try to.
Given.
I'll send you both, you and Ms. Kuhn, both a copy. If y'all put y'all's email in the chat, that way y'all can see it. But I'll send it to both of y'all.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Kuhn, you want to call Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Rodriguez, we're going to go through the similar set of questions that we did for your wife. Can you briefly tell us in your own words what happened on New Year's Eve?
So I was, we set up fireworks like we normally do whenever we have, celebrations. Sometimes we do it here. Sometimes we go to other friends' houses. But this year we did it here. When we finished at midnight, we set up our last fireworks, and we went inside, checked messages, gave a hug to my other children that were not outside with us playing with the fireworks. Call family or text family, regular, normal, every celebration type thing. Shortly after, like it could be 12:30, 12:40, somewhere around that time, I heard the doorbell rang multiple times. And so I put my shoes on and I came out, but my wife was downstairs. She was already outside when I came out.
And when you walked through the front door, what did you see?
Mr. Meadows was screaming at my wife. So I opened the door, the screen door, and I moved my wife, and he got on my face, like really close to me.
How close was he to your face?
On less than a foot. Less than a foot. So he was screaming at me, and he was swearing. I don't know if I can say the words here or not, but
did he make any threats?
His comments were about he was instigating, trying to get me to fight him. He called me.
What do you mean? What
he called me motherfucker, like I don't know how many times. Screaming really loud. He wanted me to show him what I had, what I got.
And what did he have, and what did he got?
He had a machete behind his on his back. So he was holding a machete behind his back with his right hand. So he kept asking me what I got. Like he wanted to fight me, or he wanted me to fight him in some way. And I kept trying to tell him to calm down. That it was too much. He just calm down, and he was yelling, "I'm calm down," and I'm like, I said, "No, you're not. You're coming to the house with a machete," and he just kept screaming and swearing to my face. And then he grabbed me by the shirt. And I felt like his intention was to throw me to the ground or rip my shirt or something like that.
Can you show us how he grabbed you?
So if I am Mr. Meadows, he grabbed me like this and pulled me down, and that didn't really work, because I kept my hands down or on my waist, just trying to speak to him. I think that made him mad, because I didn't react. I didn't give him the opportunity to, I guess, to use his machete.
I really like the way this guy says machete.
And at that moment is when my wife told my son, whom was right just at the door, told him to call 911, and I told my wife to go inside.
Yes.
I walked away from the front door so they could get inside, and trying to move the situation far away from the front house, from the front door. He continued to yell at me, same things, and saying that we got his house on fire and that we were shooting the fireworks towards his house. And that was not true. We were not shooting to his house.
At any point, did Mr. Meadows tell you where he was when you were shooting off the fireworks?
He said they were out. I'm not sure, some gathering of some sort. I'm not sure.
Okay. So you continued the conversation, and then did he put his hands on you a second time?
Yes. So at that time, he grabbed me again from the chest, and at that moment, he grabbed my chain. And I think his intention, and this is my best guess, is he was trying.
Please don't guess. Just tell us what happened.
He pushed me. So he pushed me, and there we have a big rock in our yard, in our garden, and I almost fell on it, but I didn't. So I got the feeling that he got mad that I didn't fall, and he continued to try to make me react to his actions. And I continued to try to de-escalate. So I went back and I took like 2 or 3 steps back because I had to avoid that rock. And then he went after my wife at that moment. And that's when he grabbed her and
why is she still out
pushed her to the ground.
And where were his children during this?
There was the other child was behind him, pacing around behind him in our front yard. His wife was in our driveway behind our cars. The other kid was at the end of the driveway, over the driveway. And that's the kid that had a baseball bat. I never saw the older kid behind him if he had anything. I don't think he did, but.
And where was the machete when Mr. Meadows was putting his hands on your person?
On his hand, on his right hand, behind his back. He will keep it behind his back most of the time.
And did he retreat at some point?
Yes, after he pushed my wife and she screamed, well, we had told him multiple times, she got screamed to him to leave the house. I was trying to talk, to have a conversation about it, see if there was something we could do
Mr.
about it.
Rodriguez, did Mr. Meadows retreat at one point?
Yes.
And then did he come back?
Yes.
And what happened when he came back?
As he was leaving, I started my video, my phone to record the situation. And I asked him, why was he leaving so early? And he said, because what I'm going to do. And then I asked him, what am I doing? And he's like, you're calling the cops. And I said, yes, because you assaulted me and my wife, and you come to my house with a machete. So,
thank you,
and he said, yes. And then that's from the video itself. You can look at it. The video itself also shows the machete that he got in his hand.
And how big was the machete?
I'm gonna say the blade was probably 12 to 18 inches. I mean, he couldn't hide it behind his back. It was that big.
I don't have any other questions.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rodriguez, how long was your interaction with Mr. Meadows that evening?
It was probably a couple minutes.
When he started to leave your residence, where did he go?
He started to walk out of my driveway. And when I asked him, in the video, why were you leaving? And he said, because we're calling the cops. He came back to my face again and continued to scream one more time.
Did you want him to stay and continue the interaction?
No. I just didn't want him to go and don't be present when the police will come.
You knew where to send the police when they got there if he wasn't at your home.
Excuse me?
You would know where to tell the police to find him at home once they arrived.
Yeah.
No further questions.
Ms. Kuhn?
Nothing further.
All right. Nobody, he mentioned a video. Nobody's showing the video?
We are not using the video today, Judge.
Yeah, I had that question too, Shelley.
Closing?
Waive and reserve.
I don't know if I
Ms.
missed something
Ellwanger.
there.
Thank you, Your Honor. And again, our primary concern here, it looks like this was a couple minute ordeal that was, again, one incident. There wasn't any continued harassment because it was all the same incident. And it looks like he didn't even make it
It was a
out of
singular
the Rodriguez's
machete incident.
driveway before he was called back and the altercation continued, Your Honor. We would, again, a 200-yard, and Your Honor, I did look at the
It's not a
bond
good spot to
order,
be.
and it looks like it wasn't checked. 200 yards is not checked on the bond order. It's just no further contact.
Right. That's why, I mean, you may want to get them this just in case. I mean, enough of them come before me for bond revocations that I've seen that just let me.
I guess I understand to clarify the no further contact. Understood.
Exactly.
But I did just want to state for the record that the 200 yards is not checked, but I will get with someone in the solicitor's office to get that bond.
Some check them, some don't. You just wouldn't want him to get arrested for being at his house, and that
wouldn't bother me.
Yes, Your Honor.
course, they'll
But
have
again,
them.
as far as today, as far as the prongs required for stalking, there's been no violation of this bond order. There's been no evidence that there's been any violation of the bond order. And again,
If this happened,
the incident that night
belongs
was
to
a
jail
one
right now.
incident. There was no continued harassment at this point. We ask that you deny the protective order.
Ms. Kuhn?
Your Honor, my clients are entitled to a protective order. The evidence before you is they were sitting peacefully in their home. Mr. Meadows came over, started basically a fight, and my clients did not engage,
Had
which
testimony.
made him more angry. And he
uncontroverted testimony that this
first
happened.
pushed Mr. Rodriguez, and then he stopped, and then he pushed Mr. Rodriguez again, and then he stopped, and then he attacked Mrs. Rodriguez, and then he stopped. He's brandishing a weapon. He goes to leave the property. His children are there. They leave the property and go get another weapon, a baseball bat. This is exactly what stalking protective orders are meant to protect against. My client has no control over the bond conditions. Those conditions, because he is a neighbor, could be dropped or modified at any time without knowledge to my clients. This is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. And we're asking that the court grant it for 12 months and that he be ordered to pay $4,000 in reasonable attorney's fees for having to assist the Rodriguez family in prosecuting this matter.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in place, and I'll put something on there that
I'm
Judge
sorry.
Porter can make changes to it if they'd like. But I'll put, so you could probably stay, what, 25 feet away at home?
With 25 feet, is that far enough, Ms. Rodriguez?
I don't want him crossing the street to my side, so I'm not.
So I don't know, I mean, where I live, the streets are, some of them are extra wide, some of them are narrow, so I don't know how wide your street is.
Yeah, my street's narrow. Like if there's two cars, you kind of have to go around if there's a car parked. It's a two double dead end
So
in Alpharetta.
you gotta give me some, distance.
Yeah, so, yeah, 25 feet, 50 feet is probably his house to my house.
And possibly 25 feet from her front door would help in that measurement, Judge.
Okay. Well, that'll be fine, 25 feet. Stay 25 feet away. And like I said, we'll put on there, Ms. Ellwanger, that Judge Porter, can make changes. I'm not, if there's going to be a sentencing or plea or whatever, I don't know. But Mr. Meadows, I'm able to take negative inference from your Fifth Amendment right, which you absolutely have a right to assert that. And Ms. Ellwanger did her job by allowing you to assert that, since you do have a case pending. But don't go over there. Don't look at them. Don't wave at them. Don't cross the street. don't have any kind of communication. It bothers me that then your kids came out there with a bat and then you went back. That's a little bothersome. And a machete. It's a little bit off the chain there. So we'll put this in place and
the chain. She nailed it.
well, it was like $2,000 in attorney's fees. Miss Coon, you can send me that order.
She's 6
but we'll put 25 feet while at home and 200 yards everywhere else. It's just Miss Free today. Miss Coon, do you mind if we send you the Word document?
I'll get it back to you in 30 minutes, Judge.
All right,
Your Honor, and I just want to clarify the 25 feet
while at home.
Okay. And Your Honor, I guess Kenneth, because I don't want to come back on this.
Right.
Kenneth, I understand you have to park on the street because you have too many, these HOAs, if you have too many cars in the driveway, you can park on the street. If you park on the street, are you going to be within 25 feet of, I mean, is it the house, the person? I don't.
The front door is what we're asking so that it's very clear.
And, I mean, and I think you and Miss Coon, sorry, for some reason I'm going blurry. Let me see if that helps. It didn't. But I mean, I'm sure you guys could come up with something. There's sometimes going out to a car, you're gonna walk, you're gonna be within 25 feet if both of them are out getting in their car. So a little bit of common sense has to come into play. But you know, this is a kind of a you problem, Mr. Meadows. So if you see them out getting in their car, I would wait until they leave. If I were you, to go outside and get in your car. So it's 25 feet from them. You could
What's
both
a you
be
problem?
cutting the grass. If you see them cutting the grass, wait to cut your grass later. And I'm sure you and Miss Coon can come up with something that says, other than every day, you know, happen passing, parking, getting in and out of the car, or something like that. Obviously, if you made contact, said something, that would be a violation, and maybe tighten that up. I would hope that Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez would use a little bit of common sense, that if he's coming home, getting out of his car, you're not going to call to have him arrested because he's coming home. So, but Ms. Coon, do you have the Word document for stalking? You can just add it somewhere at the bottom. Sure. Or do we need to send you that in Word? And you can just share it with Ms. Elwanger. And y'all, if y'all want to tighten that up for just something,
if
and
you could email it to me,
make changes. Yeah,
if you could email it, that would be great.
All right, yeah, Ms. Free can email the Word document. So Ms. Elwanger, if you've got, I don't know, some generic, just as far as the coming and going from the homes for normal everyday things, you know.
I can look, we can, I guess hopefully we can come to some sort of agreement on something and present it to Your Honor.
Absolutely. So we will, we'll email you both a copy of the Word document shortly.
Thank you. May I be
excused? Absolutely. Y'all stay healthy and safe. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Ms. Rodriguez, I'll call you.
All right, now I've got Ms. Free, I hope you heard that. Would you send Ms. Coon a Word document? She may be away. There's just her and Miss all right, Miss Manlius and Mr. Hawkins. Miss Denise?
Yes. Here.
Thank you. Hold on. Miss Denise? Miss Denise? All right. Can you figure out how to take yourself off?
Well, that was off mute. Just batshit crazy. Holy Toledo.
All right, Miss Hawkins, you need to turn your camera on too.
How do I do that?
Miss Hawkins, I'm not
I'm
IT.
trying to. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I got to be able to see you.
Can I go get on with my husband? He's saying that the host disabled it. What, am I the host?
No, you're not the host. There you go. I'm asking you. I hit the little button, asking you to turn on your camera.
Okay, you got me?
Got you. All right. If all three of you will raise your right hands, please.
I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be
Military
good.
right. Do you swear firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Mr.
Yes.
Hawkins? Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, here's the thing. We're not going to talk over each other. We're not going to argue with one another. Ms. Hawkins, you have to be still. You have to sit down and light somewhere, like my mom used to say. Got to see your face, your backlit. All right. Once you start from the most recent event, Miss Denise, and work backwards, okay? And be specific. If it was Mr. Hawkins, say him. If it was Miss Hawkins, say her. You folks don't interrupt her. And I won't, and then I'll let you folks ask a couple of questions, or I can ask a couple, okay? Go ahead, Miss Denise.
All I know is that I have to admit that I did allow them to come here because I'm a senior. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm really not supposed to let nobody stay with me, but I did take them and their kids in. But anyway, to make a long story short, they basically took over my apartment. You know, it got to the point where sometimes I was having to urinate in the trash can in my bedroom because my bathroom was always, you know, being tied up. So anyway, the night before Christmas, I had said to Felicia, because her 18-year-old was in the bathroom, I said to Felicia on Christmas Eve, I said, can you please tell Sine that I have to use the bathroom real bad? I said, because the level of ignorance and disrespect that she has for me, I said, I don't understand because I've been nothing but good to her since I first met her. And then I also said, I don't owe her a effing thing. So I came in my room and I pushed my door to. So next thing I know, I hear Felicia out there screaming and howling and cussing. So I go out there, I'm thinking she talking to the girl, but she out there jumping around. It's like 1 o'clock at night. I got neighbors. She out there in the living room jumping around, screaming and howling and cussing, talking about what she gonna do to my pastor's wife.
Who was out there jumping around, screaming and cussing?
Felicia was. Felicia was in there jumping around talking about they want Flip. They got MF and Flip. I guess Flip is her nickname or whatever. So she's in there jumping around, screaming and cussing, talking about what she's going to do to my pastor's wife. So, but which I don't understand, because when they first came here, those kids, they came here with nothing. Those kids came here in pajamas and slippers. They didn't even have clothes and coats. So my pastor's wife, she got clothes, she got coats. She even made sure we ate every day until the food stamps came through. She did nothing but help. You know, she got a bunch of blankets so that they was able to lay on the floor. So
okay, so hold on. Let's get back to you two, not your pastor's wife.
Okay.
What else did Miss Hawkins do to you?
So then her husband says to me, because I'm shaking, I'm scared, I'm not gonna lie. Okay,
hold on. What else did Miss Hawkins do to you? We'll get to Mr. Hawkins in a minute. What else did Miss Hawkins do to you?
She went outside and smoked a cigarette. She didn't do nothing else to me.
Okay, but in your thing it says there's been some death threats or something like that.
Okay, well, when I was in the hospital, that's when I was in the hospital. She told me, because I had been hospitalized twice. I was in 2 different hospitals. She told me, she said, the reason why you sick, because it's a spirit of death following you around your house. And she told me that her and her kids was praying that I died, that I was going to die. Okay, that's what she told me when I was in the hospital.
Oh, no.
So, you know, I had told her. And then she also had told me that some of her kids heard me call the 2 little girls MFers. I never called those kids that. So she gonna say that her husband heard it too. So I told her, I said, well, since your kids and your husband is lying on me, I want y'all out of my house before I get out the hospital. Because one thing I don't like is liars, because I done seen a lot of people get in trouble because of lies. And if you tell one lie, you'll tell another one. And like I said, your kids is not going to jam me up. Okay, so
they were all staying at your house?
Yes, it was the husband, the wife, and 6 kids. Ages.
Wait a minute, hold on. You have a 1-bedroom apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
And all of you were staying there?
Yes, ma'am.
So you opened your house to them as a favor?
Well, it was cold and they didn't have nowhere to go, and I felt sorry for the kids. And I can't, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a real kind heart. I always get the short end of the stick, but I learned my lesson this time. You know what I'm saying? Everything was fine when they first came. But then what happened was, like I said, when I was in the hospital and I told her that, you know, I wanted her and them to go. So she was like, fine. She said, I'm gonna put my kids somewhere safe tomorrow until me and Sean, which is her husband, until we get on our feet. So I said, thank you. I'd appreciate that. So after that, she called me back, because I
Oh.
guess she realized since they've been here for a certain amount of time that I couldn't put them out. So she called me back, telling me we ain't going no MF from where till the FI get ready. This RSHIT now, we up in this piece, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Felicia, not right now. And I can't go through this, you know what I'm saying? So then anyway, like I said, on Christmas Eve, when she was in here acting a fool, her husband Sean gonna say to me, you can't put us out, and the leasing office can't put us out neither. His exact words were, we've been through this so many times, we know how this go.
So tell me what specifically did Mr. Hawkins say or do to you besides that?
That's except the fact that he lied and said he heard me call his kids MFers when I know that I didn't. That's the only thing that he did. You know, he told me that I couldn't put him out and that the leasing office couldn't put him out because they've been through this so many times that they knows how this go. So I'm saying in the back of my mind, okay, you know, because like I said, and at one time, it seemed like whenever I ate or drank something out of my refrigerator, I had diarrhea. So I was thinking that they was putting something in my food and my drinks. You know what I'm saying?
So were you in fear for your safety?
Yes, I was. At one time, yes, I was. Yes,
Okay.
I was.
Hold on a second. All right, Ms. Hawkins, you got to turn the light on so I can see your face. All right, I'll hear from you, Ms.
You
Hawkins.
see me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good to know. How are you?
I'm well. Go ahead.
Me and Miss Denise is friends. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Me and Miss Denise is friends. November 10th, November 9th is when we moved over to Miss Denise's house. The reason being because, you know, we got that Kim money. Kim gave everybody money. We was homeless, was staying in a B&B. The money somebody stole our money and we didn't have nowhere to go. Denise said, you know, I love y'all kids. Y'all got some kids. Y'all some good people. Y'all come over here. First, I was reluctant, and then I said, okay, we ain't got nowhere to go. My job was paying enough. I was working at Cracker Barrel. It just went down to 5 hours, $11 an hour. So I said, okay, I took Miss Denise up on her offer. We got there. We had a good time. She was like, I was trying to get us some hospital, Denise. She was like, oh, y'all can for Thanksgiving. I had no Thanksgiving with nobody. I know Sean cook. I know you can cook. And I said, cool, yeah, we cook for you. You know, she was sick off and on. They went to church. When they went to church, they got sick from the pastor's grandkids. They caught the flu. My daughter had the flu. Miss Denise had the flu. So she called me. She said, you know, she texted me, you need to take them kids to the hospital. I said, I am. I took that was coughing, but only one had the flu. So they went back to church. So went back to church. They came back. The coughing started again. Miss Denise asked me, can she take my 14-year-old to Tennessee with her? I told her no. I said, I don't know y'all. Y'all take her to Tennessee. So the pastor's wife, she mentioned again, she gave us some money on a bus card to, you know, get our jobs. See, all the way from North Cross to Union City, we need new jobs. So I thought that was, you know, nice. She said she got a program, nonprofit. She helped people. But when I told her she couldn't take my 14-year-old out of town, stuff started changing around. It started getting funny. So I said, okay. She got sick again after she went to Tennessee. She came back. The doctor said it was a different kind of flu because my kids got sick again. So she sent me this message. I was talking to her from, you know, texting her from while she was at the hospital, like, hey, this Felicia, how you doing? I hope you feel better. You know, she had texted me back, yeah, you need to take them kids to the hospital. I said, I am. But it seemed like more people now. So instead of me just trying to get on the bus because I don't have no money and I have to go on the other side of town and go to my storage, I'm trying to get my money together to get a car so we all can go.
He goes, stand by. So I'm following a whole bunch of what you say, but according to her, y'all were making her pee in the trash can because y'all weren't being very respectful. And
oh my God, we had nothing but love, Your Honor. We had nothing but love. All this, she told me right before we left, you know, I peed in my trash can. It's no big thing, but if somebody in there, I just pee in my trash can. I didn't know it was a problem. Whenever Miss Denise said, you know, we was making her food, which she really wasn't eating, but she eat Miss Geraldine, her pastor's food. So she wasn't eating our food like that. But I go buy water, I go buy the things she like. So she, you know, eat that, but she don't eat it all. So no, like she was peeing in her garbage can. She was because she wanted to. It was no reason why. We in there, do what we got to do and get out. We know it's a lot of us.
In her petition, it says that you told her, let's see what it says, the spirit of death was following her around her house.
She told me.
She's going to die. And
she told me.
Hold on. And it says your children were praying that she died. And y'all broke the bathroom door, damaged the entertainment center. Let's see.
I have pictures.
And that you've been smoking weed and drinking every day at her house. And you burned up her pan.
And I burned up her pan.
Yeah, that was all
okay.
The that you
whoever put the
We're just waiting for
whoever put the apartments together. We fixed that stuff. Like we fixed the door in the bathroom. It was coming off. So my husband fixed it back. We spent $100, bought her some nice brand new bathroom stuff, some stainless steel bathroom stuff to go behind the toilet, a bar to go on top of the toilet. We bought her a stainless steel and diamond like scrunchy thing to wash out the toilet with. I did all the cleaning and I did it very well. Like I said, we took care of Miss Denise as much as possible. Her furniture, she said it came from she was homeless as well, so she said she got the furniture from a program. After she came back, when she put this plan together, because she did tell me from the hospital, I want you to leave. And I'm like, oh my God, Miss Denise, we ain't do nothing. Because this that she sent me. She sent me a text telling me, you ain't did nothing I told you to do since you've been here. All you do is smoke and drink. So I'm like, Miss Denise, all you do is smoke and drink too, and you smoke crack. I would never judge you smoking crack. You know, I said, why you judging me? I handle my business. My daughter go to work. My husband go to work. And then I had to let her know. I was trying to get a job doing, you know, the daytime hours. I don't know nothing over here. But my husband said you called the little girls motherfuckers. So I didn't say my kids, my husband.
Okay. Let me, Mr. Hawkins, go ahead. Let me hear from you.
This is so much worse.
When we first got there, like she said in November, Denise was already complaining about headaches and stuff. She said she wouldn't for the first week. We seen her maybe twice. She got up, went to the bathroom, got some water, then went lay back down. She wasn't eating or doing nothing. She went to church, like my wife said. She took my 2 daughters with her. They came back with the flu. Dad was in the room coughing for a couple of days. She finally decided to go to the doctors. She went to the doctors. She found out that she had, it's in the text messages my wife got. We got all the text messages since we've been there. She found out that she had the flu, and they think she had blood clots on her lungs. Okay, so she went out, she came home, she went to Tennessee. She came back with another strand of the flu. You know, the kids got sick. We moved everybody out of that room, because she said she was coming back with oxygen this time. So she had oxygen.
Y'all got 8 people living up in this house with this poor lady.
We wasn't even trying to stay there though. That's what the whole thing was. We were saving our money to get an apartment. Like we're not, you know what I'm saying? We already know this was no place we wanted to be. We didn't even want to come on this side of town because we were from Norcross.
Oh, sweet Jesus. What?
When she got sick, that's when she started flipping out on us.
We didn't even want to be on this side of town.
So I informed, like, she like, get out. I'm like, well,
oh my
in the
God.
state of Georgia, after somebody being there 30 days, you got to take us to housing court. That's it.
So
I guess she figured out she could use
instead of listening to this lady,
instead
instead of listening to her and get out of her house, she's sick. There's 9 people in a 1-bedroom house. You decide that you're gonna play lawyer and tell her, you know, she's got to evict you.
Because everything was cool. We was spending money on her.
Question for him,
and she just broke out with that.
That's a question for him, Ms. Hawkins. That's a question for him, Ms.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Hawkins. So then you decided she can't put you anywhere.
You know, after I started working, that it takes I have to have a certain amount of checks to get to apartments. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wait, it's time for the court.
So we like I said, we were planning on being gone for Christmas. but we ended up having to like double pay my bills because we knew we were having to leave and save money to get in the hotel. This cost $108 a day. That's what we were doing. We were going to leave, period.
So how did all the damage get done? Like, Mr. Hawkins, how did all the damage? No, Miss Hawkins, I'm talking to Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins, how did the damage get done to the house?
I don't know what damage she's talking about. When we got there, her toilet roll and her door handle was loose. It's Allen key screws. Yeah, 9 people use one. I had some. They was in my storage. You know what I'm saying? I get them when I go to my storage. I rented a car to even go over there. But that's when the different stuff started happening. Like every day she'll come out and show us pictures of the twins that, you know, like we don't know who they were. So I asked her one day, I said, do you think you have signs of dementia? And she said, yeah, my psychiatrist told me that. So I don't know what all this other stuff she's been saying and hearing or what, you know, like we told her the only spirit in the text message, my wife said the spirit that's around you is that gossiping spirit. Remote. She sit around and want to talk about everybody all day. That's all. All that stuff, like I fixed the door. I don't know what she's talking about in the cabinet because all that stuff was used from somewhere anyway. So I don't know what she was talking about that was on the cabinet. The door handle was loose. I just tightened the screws. That's all it was.
Mr. Fix It.
All right. Anything else?
I just don't need no protection. We just want to get our stuff and leave her alone. That's all.
You don't have any stuff.
Get out.
My daughter lost her job because she
anything else, Miss Denise?
Yes. As a matter of fact, where my wood got damaged on my entertainment center, the 5-year-old admitted that she did it. Okay. But anyway, I just, I need them to get all this stuff out my living room. Okay. Because I can't even sit down in my living room. And also, y'all took the remote to my TV in the living room. Y'all took my remote to my television. Y'all took my big bag of Dr. Till
everything is still there.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something. Because the day that the police...
Okay, let's go. Now we're going to put you all on mute if you start talking over each other. Okay. All right, Mr. Hawkins, you can go there with a Sheriff's Department escort, but it's only Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and it has to get scheduled out probably a couple of weeks in advance, right, Ms. Free?
That's correct. Done at least 2 weeks.
So it's going to have to get, and it's at 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. Which do you prefer? It'll be with the sheriff coming with you there. They don't play too many in the truck.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's probably going to be a couple weeks out. They're not 2 men in the truck. They don't help you. They just stand there while you get your stuff.
Don't think
that's all I need.
This is recurring.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, 10 a.m. or 6 p.m.
Tuesday at 10.
All right. What we're going to do is if both of y'all will put your emails in the chat. I think we have your email, Miss Denise. So, Ms. Hawkins, if you want to put both your emails in the chat, we'll send you a copy of the order. We'll put it in place. We're going to send you a copy of the order that lets you go to that house and get your things. Now, there's also instructions on that order that says you have to call the sheriff's department and confirm, okay? So Ms. Free has to reach out to the sheriff's department and see what Tuesday at 10 a.m. they have available. You can't be late. You got to show up and you've got to call them in advance. You have to read every single word on that order, okay?
I will.
And just get what you got to do because you can only go one time. So once y'all place your emails in the chat, y'all can leave the meeting and we'll send y'all a copy of the orders.
Sure.
Oh, Your Honor, I have one question.
What's that?
If they're not here, so can I just get rid of the stuff because my living room is really taxed.
So what we'll do, so if they don't show up when they can do that, I don't care what you do with it. They've got an order with the sheriff's department. So
that's all I needed to know.
We'll get y'all that order and it's going to be a day. So like I said, it's going to be a couple days out. I mean, a couple weeks out. So don't get rid of their stuff. Because some people get this and they never show up.
She gave them.
It'll be a couple days out,
not a free, but
and you should get it.
A more effective eviction.
Because I don't really have nowhere to store the stuff, so I got to keep that stuff in my living room for at least a couple of weeks. You're saying?
Well, if you want the sheriff's department to come over there and supervise while they get it, yes.
Okay.
So it'll be a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Like I said, now they'll come. We'll send you the order. If you don't get it today, you'll definitely get it on Monday. But we'll get a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Okay. Mr. Hawkins, please, Mr. Hawkins, please make sure that you call that number at the sheriff's department and confirm. Okay.
I will.
All All right, thank y'all both. Y'all can all leave. Stay healthy and safe and have a happy new year.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tamika Hart and Toya Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Wow.
both of y'all raise your right hands.
The first two, the
I
machete
swear
and the
firm
pea in
testimony
the
about to
trash
give this
can.
the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
This is the worst
Yes.
call ever.
All right. All right, Ms. Hart, start with the most recent
World's
event
worst
and
call.
work backwards and tell me what is going on. And either of you have witnesses?
No.
I have
Okay.
evidence.
Oh
Okay, you
boy.
can show your evidence when it's your turn. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hart. Tell me, start with the most recent event, work backwards, and tell me what's happening.
Okay, actually, I filed for a stalker, when Toya Lee, started calling my job. So she called my job, she spoke with my boss, and she started, giving false information. My boss called me to the office. She explained that she did speak with, Miss Lee in reference to, accusation that she had, stated,
What?
about me. And the kids that I work with here at Atlanta Public Schools that were untrue. So my boss asked me, have I filed a report with the school system? So we have an active duty here on site who then was in the office when Miss Lee started to call the school phone. So I do have a picture of where you can see the list where she had been calling, where her number is visible. Her number is visible where she's calling the school phone and leaving messages on the school phone on my line. I also have numerous of calls that she have. I had to block her number where she is calling me and saying like things of nature like what she'll do to me, et cetera, et cetera. So I
Okay,
am.
so let me interrupt you. So give me a date and then to play some evidence or something as to what she did.
On December, I can tell you exactly. I think it was like December, around December the 14th, 15th, she called my job. The 13th of December, she called my job and left several messages as well as spoke with my principal.
Okay, let me take, okay. Do you have like voice recordings or proof that
I
she
do.
called? Okay,
I do.
can you share that with me, please?
Yes. So should I hit share screen?
Yes, ma'am. If you give it, it may take 1 second for it to share. So you got to select what you want to share. They go not sharing. Give it a second, it'll pop up.
I've been cocktailing.
Okay.
I can't take this. Do I have to move to shots? Do I need to get the more?
Are you able to see it?
So you got to
get a freaking Manning
call.
call.
To open that. I'm able to see yes, but you got to open that where it says preview. So tell me what this is.
Okay, this right here is, well, this is just one of for evidence. She is sending friends of mine. These are not her friends.
Okay, so the only thing I can see is text message between the two of you. I can't see where she's text messaging.
Otherwise known as my friend.
Yes, if you see, it says Wanda at the top. Wanda at the top. She sent my friends.
Okay, but I can only see messages between you and Miss Lee, not between Miss Lee and anyone else.
Okay.
So what did she send to you?
She didn't send this to me. She sent these to my friends. So she's actually calling my friends. When she can't get in touch with me.
So tell me what she's done to you specifically. That's what I need you to
okay, so I can go back to the other
okay.
The worst channel on YouTube.
Emails. Are you able to see this? Okay.
You got it.
Are you able to see this?
Click open that JPEG for me. The attachment, I can't see that.
You can't see it still?
No, ma'am. Before it was able, can you click on it again to open the image?
Yes. I will have to go back to it. Because it's only showing me, it's not showing me.
Right, so all I see is the email. I can't see
Are you able to see that?
no, ma'am, you did it before. Maybe you want to stop sharing and try it again.
Okay. New share.
Yeah, because I can see the physical email, but not the attachment.
How can I go out of this?
Is the attachment opening up on your side?
It is opening up on my side. Maybe if you can, maybe if you stop my share.
All right, let me see. Yeah, stop it, and then you can reshare. Hold on a second. Let me stop it. Okay, nice. Try to share again. Now tell me what you're.
Yeah. Without getting into further detail, there were drugs involved that people were giving to me that ended up being glue.
From where it has visible her telephone number, and I also have voicemail. Can I go to the voicemails?
Sure. Is this a voicemail from her?
Yes.
Okay, and when you play that, there'll be a little box at the bottom that says include audio. So you've got to click that so that I can hear the audio.
Okay. Are you able to hear it?
No, ma'am.
No, we are
Click the
not.
little button that says share audio. When you shared your screen, that little box at the bottom will say include audio.
Wait, can you hear this?
I'm looking now.
Do I need to stop your share and you reshare again?
No, I'm actually looking for the box that has the audio sound.
No, it comes up when you first go to share. When you first hit share screen, it's at the bottom. So let me stop it and you can reshare again. When you go to share, it'll come up at the very bottom. Once it says share, it'll say include audio.
My goat's working. I don't know. I am indeed. But I've been nursing it. I think I have to pick up the pace to get for this particular call.
So you got to, I'm gonna give you, matter of fact, we're gonna play this game, right? You got two, you gonna either choose today. Remember that picture that I screenshot that you sent me that I have you point in that hallway? When you have that stripy shirt on, with that dumbass wig that you be wearing on your head that you change motherfucker like you change the drawers once a week. You remember that picture? Because if you don't, I do. When Crystal was sitting in your lap and you said, say hi, Miss Lee. Because when I send that and show them that, they're going to say, why is this woman in Washington have a picture of a student at this school? That's where you really fucked up at. I want you to go back into your account every single month that I sent you my money, bitch. And you're going to send me back all my money. And Sean, now I'm going to put this on my dead nephew, so now I really got to do it. If you don't send my money back, I swear to God, by 8 o'clock tonight, you better go sell your pussy like you've been doing. I promise you. That lady at
Same for me.
Elementary is gonna get this picture. See, that's where you fucked up at. Call me crazy psycho. See, you woke the psycho up, the one that you was playing with. You were your psycho up. So now we both got a problem. Because I'm not gonna threaten you. Then you lying. You go to the police on me. So now, because I called you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give that school that. If you think like, oh, she's crazy, I can't. That's where you fucked up at. I never got rid of that picture. I never got rid of none of your pictures. So. We sending that picture to everybody. Fuck that, huh? We sending that picture to everybody. Everybody. For real. Since you were lying and say my cousin said she's Brenda, all that, yeah. You motherfuckers in Atlanta is finna really see how niggas in California really is when y'all fuck with people. Y'all pop off and y'all really not about it like that. Y'all really scared for real. With the fake ass, renter center ass motherfucking furniture y'all always collect. Every resident out there got it. Including the bitches from the housewives that ran it. I'm What she look like? What she? I think she's Joanna, man.
So that's actually can you hear me, Judge?
Okay, so what's the relationship between the of you? Former friends?
Yeah, we were friends
Yeah,
and
we can hear
we
you.
were
We couldn't hear that.
intimate before. We were intimate several times.
Okay.
So
Oh, sweet Jesus.
when I didn't want to continue with the relationship, she would get upset and she would start, leaving, like she would be verbally abusive, start calling my phone, leaving. She would come to Atlanta. I have more messages and more evidence stating where she's saying that she is in Atlanta. I have it right here. I have all the messages saying that she's in Atlanta, where she called my job, where and she also you heard a second person on the line too. She had somebody in Atlanta to actually
I'm fighting the White Claw.
Well, if I let you hear another voicemail, you can hear where she stated that the girl is here in Atlanta. So the girl will call my phone and she stated that is this Tamika Hart? And I'm like, who is this? And she was like, do you work at the elementary school? I was like, I'm sorry, who is this? She said, don't worry about it. I'll be up there at your job. So the lady would leave all kind of voicemails. I had several people in my job. Even the officers were here when she was calling the school phone when I had to take an actual police report, a school police report. So I had to do that at the school. So he did that, and he actually did that, and that's when I went downtown. That's when he told me to go downtown to do a TPO because she's continuing harassing me and stalking me. And I have several messages and voicemails that she's continuing stating that she'll hurt me. Well, she verbally said that she'll hurt me, and that if I leave her, she's gonna make my life miserable.
Okay. Let me hear from her real quick. Go ahead, Miss Lee. Let me hear from you.
Oh boy.
Okay, I had met Tamika Hart on December 27th off of some dating chat. So we started talking for about 3 or 4 months. I really had started caring for her and I really had loved her. So I was taking care of Tamika, whatever she wanted, whatever she needed, whatever she asked for, I didn't mind getting it. I have Zelle account transactions that I chose to give her money out of my pocket because that's the type of person that I am when I care for somebody. So as time progressed and went on, me and her just split apart because I have a wife in jail. So I ended up going back to jail with my wife that called me all the time in jail. Me and Tamika started back talking May the 1st, and my birthday is May the 3rd, and hers is May the 15th, I think, or the 14th. Make a long story short or whatever, I asked her what did she want. No, she asked me what I want for my birthday, and I said I wanted some Beats by Dre. So those are headphones. So she said, well, I'm gonna send you $100, but I don't have that much money. And I said, well, I'm gonna send you some money back. So for your birthday, because her birthday was something on the 14th, I was gonna buy her some shoes. So I sent her $180. So she sent me $100. So I thought about it like a few days, and I said, you know what, Tamika, you never really actually paid for my gift. I paid for my own. So as I started to see how she played off of my heart, and anytime she had her daughter come in the room one time, this is not something that's been recorded because I never knew that this would go this far. So she would have her daughter come in the room, making sure her daughter wasn't going to feed her. And then I turned around through Jared Mag and sent her $50. That's on his Zelle account. I have credit union, but he said if you want me to pull him into
Miss Lee, what
something.
She says she wants you to leave her alone, but you won't leave her alone.
I'm not, but see, the thing is, I don't mess with her. She got on TikTok, created a whole nother profile, and she came with some lady named KCJ at 2658. As she started to take me into this Google chat app, she kept messing with me. When she kept talking to me, I was talking back to Tamika, and I never knowing it was her. So as I started to show my mama the conversation, I said, this sounds like Sean. We went to the app, found out that it was a Photoshop picture of Casey Jackson. When we found Photoshop, I said, listen, you're playing on my phone. I asked you to leave me alone. Just leave me alone, Tamika. I said this inside the chat, and I got the evidence. On December 15th, she said I came to her job, destroyed her car. On December 15th, I was here in Washington because I have a Life 360 app where it shows me on the satellite. I was at Walmart at 9:21, and I have that too. The text that I sent to Wanda, I never sent to Wanda. I sent it to Tia that we was on vacation with, and what she did was So now she's lying in the courtroom where she just made an oath. I never had Wanda's number. So Tia took what I did 2 weeks ago. I said she put y'all in some mess because she said that I jumped on her on that trip that she invited me on. So now she's lying and make a false police report. I called her job because I kept asking her, leave me alone. I know that's you on this app. I done called your name on the app and you would answer me back in the app. Then she changed the picture again to a man's picture named James Gilbert. And she started talking to me. I said, listen here, Tamika Hart. And as I started to talk to her, she'll put laugh out loud and keep responding. I said, send one more message to this app and watch what I do when I get ready for work. She sent another message and said, text me on Hangouts. So make it make sense. And I got all of this. So if you can grant the order, but I'm also going to file for a false police report because December 15th, I was never in Atlanta. I was at 921 at Walmart. Last year in October, she said that I jumped on her. This is on a report on the protective order they got right here, right now.
Okay,
her friends never ever broke up.
Stop. All right, you said I can go ahead and grant the order. That's all I wanted to hear. Both of you place your email in the chat. We'll email you copies of the order. Once you place your emails in the chat, you can both leave.
Okay.
Whoa. What? Hold on. Hello.
How do I file? This is a civil matter. So how do I file for a false police report? Because that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do next.
Not your attorney.
Hello? No, go ahead. Mama, do it. Just do it.
Yeah, she said she didn't care about entering the order. That's what we're here for. Okay, order granted. Next. What is going on? You can, the way you do that though, is what you want to do is report a crime. So you can call the police from your jail cell and tell them you've been wronged. See how that goes for you. Is this thing still going?
Yeah. Without getting into further detail, there were drugs involved that people were giving to me that ended up being glue. Like I smoked some glue and stuff. I thought I was smoking crack, and
Oh yeah, this thing's still happening.
Stay on mute and turn your cameras on. Stay on mute and leave your cameras on. Stay on mute and leave your cameras on.
Okay. I mean, it had to go forward. This can only get worse.
Everybody stay on mute and leave your cameras on. Kirk Babb, you're no exception. Turn your camera on. Everybody stay on mute.
Well, after you've smoked one or the other, it gets
One person
easier.
here that can't follow directions, let me let them in. Mr. Babb, if you're driving, if I see you driving, I'm going to remove you from this meeting, so you need to stay parked. iPhone, start your camera. What's your name? You need to change your screen name. I sent plenty of messages to the waiting room saying change your screen name. What is your name? Ma'am, you're in your car. You have to take yourself off mute and you need to change your screen name. What is your name?
Tatiana Swains.
All right, go change your screen name. Please, you got to hit the three dots and learn how to change your screen name. I'm not teaching anybody how to use Zoom today. All right, everybody, when I call your name, take yourself off mute and say here. Joiner, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, be still. Everybody be still. Light somewhere, like my grandma used to say, sit down and light somewhere. Kirk Babb, find a place and sit down. All right, folks, if you can't follow my directions, this will be continued. You'll come and sit in person in my courtroom. All right, Lonnie Sorrell. Robert Johnson. Failure to appear. Carolyn Davis.
Here.
And Patrick Holloway. Ms. Davis, according to the Sheriff's Department, Mr. Holloway hasn't been served. Your case is reset until February the 3rd at 12:30. You need to place your email in the chat. Once you do, Ms. Free or somebody from the office will email you a sheriff's form and a reset notice. That reset notice, you need to fill it out and get it back to Ms. Free before the end of the day. Filling it out completely, okay? 2 to 4 hour time frame that people can be served. Once you place your email in the chat, you can leave the meeting. Stay healthy and safe and have a good weekend.
Does this
Arnesia Pete
call end with Judge Manning passing out?
I'm here.
and Kirk Babb.
I'm here.
Miss Pete, how long do you expect your side to take?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
How long do you expect it to take you to present your case?
A time frame within this meeting?
How long is it going to take you to tell me everything that happened?
Maybe no more than 10 minutes, I believe.
Okay, you still wanting to go forward. All right, Mr. Babb, what about you? How long?
Not long, probably about 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, got you. Both of you place yourself back on mute. I'll be back in a second. I got Gabrielle Minor Feeney. Gabrielle Minor Feeney and Janika Woods. Miss Sandifer, is that one of yours?
No, Your Honor, it's not.
All right, failure to appear. Tatiana Swanks. And we got Simja Joyner.
Yes.
All right, we got Mr. Joyner will start his video. He's not connected to audio. Miss Free, could you try to send him a chat and see if he'll, or he maybe needs to disconnect and reconnect. Ms. Swanks, are you still wanting to go forward?
No, I would like to withdraw my petition.
All right. Is this one of yours, Ms. Sandifer?
I believe it is, Your Honor, but previously. Would you like me to speak to Ms. Swanks?
Sure. Your co-host. Do you want to place both of you in a breakout room? Ms. Swanks, go into a breakout room with Ms. Sandifer. Okay, we'd just like to talk to you for a few minutes. Make sure you're not being threatened or forced in any way to drop this, okay?
Okay.
And place your email in the chat before you leave, Ms. Swanks. Yasmin Delva.
Yes.
And Torrance Grady.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Terry Heron here for Mr. Grady, the respondent. In this case, we anticipate our side would be, I'm going to say less than 30 minutes. We'd cross in also the presentation of our side.
All right, Ms. Delva, how long do you expect your side to take?
It shouldn't take too long. Maybe 20
Okay, you're still wanting to go forward? Okay, you may have to get somewhere a little better because for some reason I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. All right, and then I've got.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yes, ma'am, that's better. All right.
Oh, I can't. You can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't know how this is. I'm
Okay,
sorry. My microphone is.
So just let me finish talking, please. All right. Is there anyone here who's a party that I didn't call their name?
I'm sorry. I can't hear you. 1 second.
Judge, my case was actually for 11 a.m. I didn't hear my name called. I don't know if I should still be present.
I didn't call you 11 a.m. You weren't called at 11 a.m. either?
I would love
Nicole
to have
Robinson and
Tiffany.
Daryl Edwards.
I would
Because
love
you showed
to,
up late.
but it puts her in a spot. So I wouldn't ask
You
her.
showed up late. So what we're going to do is we'll reset it until February the 3rd at 2 p.m. Ms. Free, that's number 4. Place your email in the chat, Ms. Robinson. Next time, on time is late.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm at work. I do apologize. I have bricks
That's okay.
thrown through my window at 2 a.m. this morning.
Hey, that's okay. Just make sure you're on time or it gets dismissed, okay? Place your email in the chat. We'll send you the new sheriff's form and a reset notice.
Do I need, let me just ask you a question.
Let me just finish saying what I'm saying. Finish, fill out the sheriff's form and send it back to Miss Free. Make sure you put a 2 to 4 hour time frame because Mr. Edwards didn't get served. And then we'll see you on February the 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so put your email in the chat. She'll send it to you, but you've got to get it back, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm still being harassed. I do apologize for the delay.
And that's
Yes, sir.
okay. Just fill out
I
that
got-
sheriff's form and get it back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's see.
Your Honor, we do have one more, Miss Williams, India Williams. Her respondent was incarcerated, so it's reset for an inmate calendar date, not today.
Okay, there you go, Ms. Williams. So it's going to be reset to an inmate calendar date, which is a Thursday.
Okay.
And if you place your email in the chat, Ms. Free will send you that notice for the inmate date. And is he in Rice Street? Is he in Fulton County Jail?
He's in DeKalb County.
Oh, in DeKalb. Okay. So just cross your fingers that they make it happen.
It's already served.
Okay, it's already served. So cross your fingers they make it happen. Do you know if he has a bond or not?
Not for the burglary, but he has it for the other one.
Okay. So if he gets it out, he'll have notice and he'll still have to show up on that day. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Delva and Mr. Grady.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you both take yourself, Mr. Grady, if you take yourself off mute, both of you raise your right hands for me. Do y'all swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Miss Delva? Mr. Grady?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Delva, I'm going to let you tell me what happened. Miss Heron, do you want to make an opening or you just want to go straight into testimony?
I'm going straight into testimony, unless Ms. Delva wants to give a short brief. Of course, I'm going to say my client didn't do what she's alleging. We have exhibits that show that. So other than that, I'll let her get started since she's pro se.
Okay. So Miss Delva, what I like you to do is start from the most recent event and work backwards. I want to hear what Mr. Babb did to you specifically. You can't tell me what Mr. Babb did to somebody else or told somebody else to do to you, okay? Because then Ms. Heron's going to object to hearsay. So start with the most recent event, work backwards, and tell me what he did to you.
Okay. It started. Well, the threats most recently started November. In November, I had text messages and everything. I don't know if I'm supposed to be showing you this now or later. But yes, in November he told me that we had a minor disagreement, and he told me that I was saving myself from a much needed ass whooping. I asked him if he was threatening me. He said, "Oh no."
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I can hear her, but it's muffled, so I'm not exactly sure what she's saying.
I don't know if it's because you're leaning your head back, but it is a little muffled, so you're kind of hard to understand.
My microphone is broken on my phone, so when I take it off of the speaker, I can't be heard. I mean, yeah, you can't hear me, but I can't hear you.
Okay, so how about when you talk, take it off, whatever you got to do, and then you can put it back so you can hear me. How about that?
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it started in November when he first told me that I was saving myself from a much needed ass whooping because I wasn't doing, he basically asked me to do something. He asked me to adjust the schedule last minute. I adjusted the schedule. Then he asked me to readjust the schedule to fit his needs. I had already adjusted my schedule, and he was basically saying that I needed to do what he was trying to get me to do. I eventually just let him have it his way, let him pick my son up. And he said, all I did was save myself from much needed ass whooping. I said, okay, we continued. And then fast forward to nothing ever happened. He just said words then. Fast forward to December. The very last time he had my son, it was a stormy night. He decided he had rented a Jeep. He then decided that since my son said, okay, Dad, don't you have a Jeep? Can't you drive in the woods? So he proceeded on his rainy night, rainy, dark 8 p.m. night to drive into the woods with my son. He got stuck in the mud. At first, I would not have known had I not gone to pick my son up, which he was actually trying to get me to avoid doing. And he wasn't going to tell me it happened, but since I still proceeded to pick him up. I found them on the side of the road, driving into the woods in a mudslide because again, it was raining. And I picked my son up from him, and I did not send him back over there since that was the last time he saw him. Now, since then, he of course has been trying to get him, and in him doing so, he has threatened me again, threatened to track me down. He has popped up at my house twice. The second time I did have to call the police because he was refusing to leave. And now at this point, I'm just trying to stop it before it starts. I would prefer him to just stop contacting me altogether. I will say that even he makes bad decisions that my son is then a part of when he's with him. And as far as I go, I just am tired of the constant verbal abuse. He is also putting things in my son's head, like telling my son that I don't like him, that I'm mean to him, telling him that I'm abusing him, and things like that. My son is very smart. He grasps onto this. He gets this. And he tells my son that I'm dressing him ugly for school. Like he's like putting in my son's head that I'm against him. He's constantly threatening to take him for full custody, and I'm going to lose all of my rights, and I'm a horrible parent. My son doesn't need me, doesn't need to see me. It's constant. It's constant. I've been trying to work with him for a minute now, and it's just getting worse. And he refuses to cooperate with me. He refuses to listen to anything I say. He is constantly going against me, just constantly threatening for me to lose my rights. And now he's just threatening, oh, I'm going to pop up whenever. I'm not going to. I get very nervous when he's around at this point. It's getting to the point where I don't want it. I don't want him to pop up one day and do something to me simply because I can't communicate with him. And it's getting harder and harder to try to raise a child with him. And just the verbal harassment, I'm trying to stop it before it starts, because honestly, him popping up at my house makes me very uncomfortable. He's much bigger than me. Like the very first time he popped up, I was completely unprepared. It was like the crack of dawn. He's banging at my door. Like I couldn't even I didn't even record it because it was very he's threatened me multiple times, and I just don't want it to get any worse than that.
All right, so you got to be specific. Be specific about threats and stuff, because right now, I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you, is that what I hear is parenting issues.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna have to be more specific, because right now, I have to be honest, all I hear is parenting issues.
No, ma'am. I definitely threatened you.
Okay, but you haven't told me any. You haven't told me any dates that he said, "Hey,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Carrie, I'm going to come over there and break your legs." And she says, "No, Alex, I'm going to break your legs." That's a threat. So that's what I need to hear.
Yeah, this was November 4th. He said, I prevented myself from getting a much needed ass whooping. Then after that, it was December 24th. He told me he had my tag, my license, and other sensitive pieces of information, and he will track me down. Then when he popped up at my house the first time, he was refusing to leave. He was trying to see where my son was. And again, I'm not really comfortable with my son being around him, doing his decision making. So I was not trying to tell him. And him saying he's going to track me down, him popping up at my house, like it's getting to the point where he's not trying to. I feel very threatened. Like I'm not okay with him. And it's not just that. It's been a long list of him he talks to me like I can't, like I have all of this. He's teaching my son gun movements. He's doing this and that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm really okay. I don't know exactly. I can show you the text messages and I can show you what I'm talking about. But no, he is not physically. He's physically harmed me in the past, which is why I am nervous now. Because I've seen how he gets when things don't go his way. But since I can't communicate with him, I've tried to put him on child support so he can get visitation and everything, so he wouldn't even have to contact me. But since right now, the only person who contacted me he's just like bullying his way through this whole ordeal. And I'm very, like, when he pops up at my house, it makes me very uncomfortable. I live with my little sister and my son. Like, there's nobody here to protect me if he does decide that he wants to come rampaging into my house because he's upset that we can't come to an agreement. I've told him we can come to an agreement with the court so he does not have to worry about seeing him at all. But he's, and honestly, it worries me for my son to go over there because he does not make good decisions, because he is constantly trying to turn my son against me. My son comes home and he's acting worse. He's acting different. He's saying that I don't love him and things like that. And I'm trying to explain this to his father. His father has made it very clear that he does not care how I feel about how he is turning my son against me. He has told me, well, my son, I say, you teach my son not to respect me. He's like, well, my son knows to respect people that deserve it. Like, it's very hard to communicate with him. So even in that sense, me trying to come up with some type of visitation schedule is hard because I cannot speak to him. So now at this point, I am choosing we can take it to court, and the court can tell me when he can be seen and stuff like that. He does not have to talk to me, because when he talks to me, he is abusing, like he is going crazy. He is talking down on me, calling me bum, calling me a slave and this and that and things like that. Like, I literally cannot communicate with this man. So I'm choosing not to. And in me choosing not to, he is starting to pop up at my house and threaten not to leave, telling me he's going to track me down, telling me, like, ma'am, I am uncomfortable and I am scared.
Okay.
So I'm honestly not, like, I can show you the messages and things. I can show you the video of him having my son in the woods.
If you'd like to show evidence, go ahead. You have to share your screen.
Showing him with your son in the woods. Well, it's his son as well, apparently. And a father with his son in the woods is entirely appropriate.
Okay, can you see it?
Just saying.
It says sharing screen, so I don't. If you're gonna play an audio, okay, I see little text messages.
So here is the video of when I pulled up. I was picking my son up. They were off on the side of the road. I don't know if you can.
Baby, he's down the street, stuck in the mud. Why are you off-roading?
I'm gonna skip to where I actually walked up to him in the car.
This is what I do.
What's hard about this?
It's raining. It's dark.
Wow.
They're off the road, heading into the woods.
Yeah.
So they mud
and it's slippery as hell.
Yeah.
I almost fell trying to get down to it.
The more mud, the better.
Here. There we go.
Right here.
So what was the idea here?
That was just impulsive, really. Not much of an idea.
Of course. Fucking impulsive. You're in the trees.
Yeah.
Because you got a Jeep, I assume.
You're in a Jeep in the woods.
He was like, Dad, can't you drive in the woods? Like, you know what? We sure can.
Why would you really want to teach him that this is
I mean, no, but look,
no,
the thing to focus on, you got to focus on
focus on the fact that you're
the
in
bad
the
decision.
woods.
Right, because it's wet. So what you got to
Because you're
understand is
impulsive.
He's
This
not
makes no
calm.
sense. This makes no
through the
sense.
woods when it's wet.
You can't drive
Okay.
through the woods at
Because of
all.
mud.
Where was y'all about to go? It's trees right there.
Nah, it's a whole little thing.
Okay, but that's not. And then,
Wait. The trees in the woods?
Hey, boo. Hi, boo. I let you stay a whole extra day. Don't start with me. Come on. And I look.
From there, I kind of just walked back to the car. Here, perfectly fine. He thinks nothing of this. He's perfectly normal with this. After that,
Oh my.
you can see where he says, this is
For the record.
where he's texting me trying to tell me that he can stay an extra day if I need him to. Oh, he's fine. I'm like, no, it's okay. He doesn't need to stay an extra day. You know, I can come pick him up. He has to go to school in the morning. He's like, we're stuck at the bottom of the hill. I'm like, okay, what do you mean you're stuck? Do you need help? I can come get you. So then I called him and he told me he was down the street. So after the video, this is the messages after the video. He's saying that, let him know that I'm not stuck anymore in the tow truck. And he knew, like, I told him, Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this all together. So he went to school the next day. He was acting up, and I let his father know that. And then this is where he says, I said something about him crying because, oh yeah, my son did let him say, I like going to my dad's house. He likes to let me be dad. But okay, yeah. So he knew it was bad. He's like,
Exactly.
It
Nailed it.
goes into me telling him that, oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. I really tried to put this in order. Look, he says, I knew we could get stuck, but it didn't matter. The best direction he will see will come from God and his father. Like he is outside of that, and I'm sorry, this is hard to navigate. And
Yes.
this is where he told me I was saving
Usually
myself
gets it.
from much needed ass whooping right there. And he also told me that's where he's threatening to keep him away from me. So yes, oh my God. But let me see. But yeah, that's really the last time he had my son, and that was the very last time I decided to just that I decided it's just too hard for me to try to communicate with him, which is why I'm now like, we can go through the courts if you really feel like, I'm being unfair, but I can't communicate with you because again, all you do is call me names and make it very hard to communicate with you. So I don't agree with his parenting style, but that ain't his style. I understand that. But as far as him
Where else are they gonna learn?
me and popping up on my doorstep and banging on my door and threatening to do this, that, and the third, I'm not okay with that. I prefer he didn't contact me really at all. If we could somehow, even if we set up visitation, there are people we go through maybe, I don't know, but at this point it's constant harassment, constant verbal, and it's just getting worse as time goes on. Like this has been, I could show you the entire folder. It's probably like 200 pieces in there. That's why it's really hard for me to try to organize just the most recent, but yeah, that's where I'm.
All right, so I'm sure when Ms. Heron crosses you, that there's going to be things that you say about him, that he's a bad dad or he's whatever, but it was, I forget, the judge just said this, like, this is just one child. This child is in the world because of the two of you. Maybe y'all made lousy choices on who you're going to make a child with, but you made the child, and if so, if it's a lousy choice, then that's y'all's problem. That's not the child's problem. That's not my problem. No matter what either of you think, this child is half of both of you. So when you say something bad about him in front of your child, and when he says something bad about you in front of your child, you're both telling your child that half of them is bad. Half of them is worthless. Half of them is stupid. Half of them aren't responsible, because that's what you're saying. You're telling that child half of them is bad. Now, that's really an unforgivable thing to do to a child, because how are they going to shake that? All they're going to know is half of them is bad. So that's not making them think bad about him. It's not making that kid think bad about you. That child is internalizing that and feeling bad about them, and it will destroy them the more you talk bad about the other parent in front of them. If you say that was stupid that he took you out there and got stuck in the mud, that it affects these children like nobody completely understands. And I hope, and from the bottom of my heart, that neither of you want to do something like that to your child, y'all's child. It's your son, both of you. It's not yours, mine, his, yours, it's them. But this, and I'll let you keep going. So the one thing I hate more than anything is when somebody is bad mouthing the other parent, and Miss Heron knows this, in front of this child. Like I said, you're destroying half of this child. They realize they're half you, they're half him. You parents have to stop doing that. And I mean, he was stuck in the mud. Okay, it looked like he had a California tag. I mean, If he didn't live in the part of California where they have mudslides, he may not be familiar with driving in the mud and driving in the woods.
If it was dangerous, that's what I wanted him to understand, that you can't make impulsive decisions like that with our
Well, I
child.
don't know. I mean, he was just stuck on the side of the road, and he doesn't necessarily, I mean, look like it was probably a brand new car. I'm sure he wasn't going to drive it like in there mud bogging in a brand new or newer kind of car. I mean, I grew up on motorcycles and four-wheelers, and I've had Jeeps. Favorite car was my CJ6 and CJ7. I hate that I got rid of them, but it's not dangerous to go out in the woods and tear it up. I tore up Vermont with that thing.
Oh, that's bad.
So, Ms. Aaron, do you have questions?
When the judge is like, I
I
love
do,
mud.
and Your Honor, I think it's just a country thing. I will say, yes, looking at the petition, when I saw this,
She's so
I
cool.
automatically thought she was saying he just ran off the road, and talking to my client, and I'll have him testify, but I hadn't heard anything to uphold a TPO, 12-month TPO. But when I saw it, it was more so, and talking to my client, it was more so, I'm from the country, so this was more of a country thing. Four-wheelers, Jeeps. It's my understanding it was a Jeep Wrangler, and it was just more so. It is the actual trail. But Miss Delva, I do have a question for you, and I want to direct your attention to my screen, and I want you to. First of all, I'll have to play the video so you can identify yourself. Okay, so and it's about a 3-minute video. And when you actually reference that he threatened you, he was banging on a door in your petition, I just want to see if this is the incident that you're referring to. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. Okay. Can you see my screen first of all? You see the cars in the screen? Okay. All right.
Proceed. Everybody don't keep the leadership here. So weird.
Harry, here is your reminder. You take advantage. Harry, there is your reminder. You take advantage.
Oh, sweet puppy.
I'm sorry, warning, it is a 3-minute video, 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Oh, absolutely.
You're right.
Thank you, Heidi.
Keep going. Yeah, I'll come here. You'll be my child. Hey, chill. I know. So you loan him out. So you loan him out to someone. So you loan him out to someone.
Does she confirm that this is what she's talking about?
Okay, so where is it? Yeah, you got multiple.
Oh, good Lord.
Y'all gonna send me who? Yeah, good morning. So you're not gonna send me who? All right, well, I'll be back. Yeah. I was already up. Sorry.
You said what?
I thought you would already be up.
I literally woke you.
All right. Well, thank you for the conversation.
I couldn't hear it all, but his tone was just mellow as could be.
Now, I want to ask you, do you identify yourself in that video? Ms. Delva?
Can't hear you, Miss Delva.
And that's the incident that you're actually referencing when you actually say he was banging on your door. He threatened you when he was there. And we did hear him say he'll be back, but he threatened that he was going to be back. Is that correct? Ms. Delva?
Miss Delva? Can't hear you.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the incident you're referring to. And the other incident that you're referring to in your petition is exactly what we saw, the video that you played where Mr. Grady was stuck in the mud. And you would agree that both of you guys are not in the best co-parenting position right now. Is that correct?
What exactly do you mean by that? As far as like us being able to communicate effectively?
That too, yes.
Well, that you said that too. What else are you referring to?
Well, when you actually referenced that you guys, you needed a plan in place, there need to be some kind of visitation in place. He doesn't respect you as the mother. When you were saying all of that, would you agree that that's part of like a co-parenting issue?
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you guys got this co-parenting issue down, you'd be in a better place. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
If you guys got this co-parenting down, you guys would be in a better place. Is that correct?
I believe that would be correct, but that wouldn't really stop him from his actions. As far as what he's saying and putting in my son's head, I don't speak about him like that to my child. I actually don't speak about him at all to my child. If me and my child speak about him, it's because my child has said, "Oh, my daddy did this." And I'm like, "Oh, really? That's so cool. Oh, my daddy bought me these. Oh my gosh, they're amazing." But on my end, it's, "Oh, your mom with those? Those are ugly. Oh, those are lame. Oh, your mom's mean. Oh, your mom's like," he's come home and said, "Oh, my daddy said you're lame. My daddy said you're mean." I don't see how visitation would change that.
Okay. Yeah, I have no further questions, but I'd like to move for a dismissal. I hadn't heard anything that would uphold a 12-month or even just a temporary protective order in place.
I would like it for me.
Ms. Delva,
I feel like we're talking about against my son, but I'm talking about for me.
would you like to respond to her motion to dismiss?
I'm sorry, I don't want to dismiss.
Well, I'm sure you don't, but do you want to respond to her motion saying that you didn't prove your case?
I get that feeling.
I feel like I did. I feel like I did. So
I feel like I did.
I mean, I showed a little bit, but it's a longevity of him speaking like this. Like I could show more. I didn't.
Ms. Heron, is there a legitimation case?
He has hired me for a legitimation case. So when he hired me for this case, it was for legitimation as well.
Okay, so it's going to be in Fulton County?
Fulton County, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
It's
I'm going to deny it. I don't think that you proved anything. You proved there's going to be some parenting issues. And both of you kind of need to get a grip on what's going on. I know she says you say stuff, Mr. Grady, and I'm sure you're going to say, "No, I'm perfect like she is," and she says it. Whatever happens, you know, but just so you know,
show you on my
so
phone
you know,
where
there's
he
going to be
admits
a
to the fact
judge
that he
that's
knows
going
that
to
he speaks
hear
down.
this case for the legitimation, who's going to come up with a parenting plan and is going to set parameters as to the days you get to see your child, the day you don't get to see your child, and vice versa. So how old is this child, Ms. Heron?
4, I believe.
4. This is the time right now where this is your child together. 4 years old. This is when this child needs time with both parents. Needs to get. It's a little boy.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, it is.
So there you go. He needs a good, strong male figure, his dad in his life. He needs his mom in his life so that we can raise this kid up to be a productive guy of society. And he needs both of you. He doesn't need either of you to be doing anything, making a big deal, because Mr. Grady doesn't know how to go four-wheeling in his Jeep and get stuck. That's not a big deal. Like I said, Tag said California. He needs to meet somebody from here with a good thick accent that'll teach him how to do it. So everybody be good for this kid. It's going to be dismissed. But Mr. Grady, you have heard Ms. Taryn, and
I have a question.
What is it?
So I'm just supposed to wait for him to be upset. So what does this mean? Do we just wait for the legitimation papers and then we decide on him seeing him? Because at this current moment, I'm uncomfortable with it.
Your Honor, I'm happy to go into a breakout room with her because I'd love for her to acknowledge service on that. And so I'm happy to go into a breakout room with her and kind of discuss that, or offline if she wants to give me her contact information, and I'll contact her for that. But the other thing is my client is asking for attorney's fees. I will say with today, I've only spent about 3.5 hours on this case, so not much time at $3.50 an hour, but he is asking for a reimbursement of his attorney's fees because clearly this case was a frivolous case.
Ms. Delva, would you like to speak with Ms. Heron? Sasha's here from Safe Families. I mean, and she could go in there with you. She's not going to give you any legal advice, but she can be in there with you to make you feel comfortable while Ms. Heron's speaking with you. And Ms. Heron will talk to you about, acknowledging the legitimation papers and going forward then, because of right now, Mr. Grady, as I'm sure Ms. Heron's told you, you don't have any right. I have just as many rights to your son as you do, which is not. So this is something you guys should really get moving on down the road so that this child gets pulled out of the middle and gets to be a kid and enjoy both his parents like he should. Ms. Delva, would you like to go into a breakout room with Ms. Heron, and I could put Sasha from Safe Families in there with you?
How would I do that?
I'm going to put you in there. Sasha, you mind going in there too? All right.
And as far as these attorney fees, what does that mean?
I can do an affidavit, Your Honor, but I've only spent 3.5. That was mainly prepping my client because we weren't here that long today. But that includes prepping my client and getting some other documents that we needed to get. But that amounts to about $1,225.
All right, you guys go into that breakout room. Go ahead and join, all of you, and when you come back, I'll hear from her about that. So join that breakout room, and Mr. Grady, you'll stay here while she talks to Ms. Delva. Sasha, I'll put you in there too.
Thank you.
All right, I got excuse me, Mr. Babb and Ms. Pete. If y'all both take yourselves off mute and raise your right hands. Do y'all swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
More. I do.
I do.
Okay, so Ms. Pete, start from the most recent event, work backwards.
That's interesting. I don't know about legitimization or whatever or legitimation, whatever they use. I don't do it, but I've heard them talk about it, and it seems to me that that only goes in the father's favor. If he's trying to legitimate the child, apparently, I think that's going to expose him to child support. But he in exchange for that, he gets some visitation. And so if he cares that much about the child, that that shows to me that the father's sincere, or at least on some level. Not that he's a perfect person or anything, but that's what it shows me. But that's very loose. I wish I had Rob or Deborah on. Speaking of which, Deborah's going to have a 10,000K celebration special on Sunday night, I think 7 Eastern.
But you filed a stalking petition. So tell me what he has done to stalk you. Most recent event, give me dates and exactly what he did. Go ahead.
The most recent, I want to say maybe January 5th or January 9th, one of those dates. I was on my way to the car with my company. He came outside.
That hair would be enough to keep me away.
About stomping on his floor, I believe, because of his music. After about 20 minutes or so, I believe, at some point
going back and forth with him. He had some guy that came, bought him a gun. He
Seriously?
accepted the gun from the guy, pulled the gun on me.
It looks like it.
Who put the gun on you? Mr. Babb
Gave the
pulled
gun back. Yes.
Mr. Babb pulled a gun on you. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Pulled the gun on me, gave the gun back to the guy, and eventually I called the police, but he went back in his house to apparently grab another one or whatever. Waiting on the police to get there, and he went upstairs to my next door neighbor to do more than likely whatever he gave to the police. Whenever they did get out there, they checked him, he didn't have any weapons. Explained to them the whole situation. At that point, I hadn't had the PTO in place yet. Before then, I want to say December 26th or 29th, between those dates. Not the same thing. He was waiting on me to come downstairs at the gate to the stairs, coming up the stairs to my door. With his dog, confronted me about the same thing, stomping on the ceiling for him to stop playing his loud music, and also the fact that I had complained to management multiple times about the same thing. He threatened to shoot me and threatened to punch me in the face, and then also threatened to send his cousins to fight me in that altercation. That was, I think, 2 days after that. I saw the police report for that incident. Spoke to investigator Ware, I believe, at APD. And before all of that, I was just putting in the complaints with management and seeing what could be done about it. He had previously come up the stairs to knock on my door to ask me if I had filed a complaint. I didn't open my door because, no, I'm not obligated to open my door. There's also no peepholes in our apartment doors, and I had no reason to open my door again.
Ma'am, there's wind blowing. It keeps, the wind blows. I can't hear you every time the wind blows.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, sure. And Mr. Babb, I'm going to mute you because I hear stuff in the background from you, okay? You can unmute. Go ahead now.
This has been going on since November when I first moved into the apartment. It's really loud music, and before anything, I contacted management, complained about it. At some point, he asked me why I didn't come down and talk to him about it. I shouldn't have to talk to you about it. That's common courtesy. We all live in an apartment complex. That's not something that you should be doing on a regular basis. And it's a lease violation. Management has also talked to you about it. For you to threaten me and pull a gun on me and all kind of stuff for something so simple and courteous is just ridiculous. And I have to live here because I signed a lease. And you live right below me. First of all, I shouldn't hear anything if you live below me and I live upstairs. And he has blown the situation out of proportion.
So it sounds like he's pulled a gun on you twice?
Once.
All right.
The first time he threatened to, the second time he did.
So are there any other threats?
No, there hasn't been any other threats. Recently, my lug nuts on my car were loosened on one of my wheels that I know I did not do. More than likely him, considering he's already threatened me. But the investigator Ware already talked to me about that situation and explained everything with that. But no, that's pretty much it. He hasn't threatened me since. He hasn't said anything to me directly since the last time we spoke outside with APD.
Okay, Mr. Babb, you can take yourself off mute and
Y'all are gonna get me in trouble. Okay.
On January 2nd, I think that's when the incident with the police was had occurred. That day, it was a coincidence that we happened to
Lord,
come out at the same time. I'm a busybody, so I'm always moving. My schedule at work is it fluctuates. So that was just a coincidence. Plus my dog, I'm always taking my dog out on a set routine. So that day was just a coincidence. On that particular day, at that time where we met each other at the bottom of the stairs, her guy or her cousin, whoever it is, the male figure who she stayed with, he proceeded to be aggressive towards me, I guess from built up tension. I don't know if she was in his ear trying to, I guess, make him feel some type of way about the situation. I guess
I haven't
just
seen this.
venting to him, which made him, I guess, mad or have some pressure. So I guess when he seen me, he decided to just be a little, aggressive and try to show his that he's an alpha male or whatever. So that kind of just, even though he got aggressive with me, I wasn't aggressive with him until he started getting to my personal space and he started to proceed into my apartment. Then that's when I started to stand my ground, which was telling him that he need to back up. What you getting all aggressive for? I'm trying to have a conversation with your girl at this point since we out here on January 2nd. One of my friends from the neighborhood saw that he was getting aggressive with me, and I was just standing there looking. I guess to my friend, I guess I was looking scared and vulnerable to my friend, which is not my friend. I just know him from the hood, the area. He offered. He was like, "Kirk, you good? You don't need a gun, do you?" And I was just like, "Nah, I'm straight." But I ain't just off rip say, "Oh, I'm straight." I thought about it, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm straight. I don't even need it. Ain't no point for me to have it." He carried on about his business. After that, the guy, her cousin or her boyfriend, he took off. He took my shirt and threw my property on the ground. So I don't know why he did that. He just continued to try to make me mad. He wanted to make me mad to get out of character, so he could say that I did something, which I already knew. So I just kind of played it cool. When she was saying, so after I guess it was the thought of somebody offering me a weapon, because her boyfriend was asking everybody in the apartments, was just like, "Hey, do you know him? Hey, do you know him?" Because he said he know everybody. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, somebody random to him just pulled up and was just like, "Hey, Kirk, you good?" And then which kind of put him at confusing, like, so which he felt some type of way. Now when she was saying I went upstairs to my neighbor, our neighbor, I had got a phone call that probably 10 minutes later from my neighbor.
I got
and
nothing.
She called me and told me to come upstairs, and she wanted to let me know basically on what happened, on what she saw. And I actually got proof that she, hold on, give me 1 second while I share my camera.
I've listened to both of them. And I know less than when I started.
How do I share my camera?
Personally.
Share content.
It'll say share screen or something like that. Yeah.
Share screen. Start screen broadcast. All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. What is it you're going to show me?
Basically just where my neighbor, that same day on January 2nd.
Hold on a second. Are these text messages between you and your neighbor, or you and this lady?
No, not even text messages between me and her. I just got the text where she was just telling me that she watched everything. I wasn't texting her or anything like that.
Tell me, you're showing me text messages. Who are these text messages to and from?
Yes.
These text messages are from both of our neighbor who stayed right beside her.
So I can't consider that because it's not between the two of you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stop sharing my screen.
Otherwise,
Okay.
no, it's hearsay.
Yeah, I don't have messages between her. I don't know her.
Judge
Do you have? I mean, you can understand how if somebody hands you a gun, or you get a gun from somebody, especially today, right? How that could be pretty scary.
Yeah, ain't nobody hand me a gun though. Ain't nobody hand me a gun. Ain't nobody physically give me a gun. I guess it's just the thought of her, like me knowing somebody who has a weapon. I don't own a gun in my name. I don't have a gun in my house or anything. And then on December 26th was, I think, the day that she filed a complaint about my music. Before I even knew about the complaint, I went up to their door. Yes, I did, because I've been a resident at Fairway Court for 3 years.
Oh, jeez. Now he's making
I know
admissions.
all the neighbors. No neighbors never complained. I never had my music up. I'm always mindful. That's one thing about me. So the fact that they just moved into the apartment complex. The main reason I really put knocked on her door the first time on, I think it was December 26th. I knocked on her door. That was way before I even knew she had a complaint. It started off her stomping on my ceiling. All I remember was just somebody stomping on my ceiling like so hard, like they was jumping. And I'm just like, but I didn't say nothing. But then I heard it again that same day. So that's when I went up there and knocked on her door, introducing myself, because I've been there for 3 years. I know this person haven't. I remember seeing her, never introduced ourselves. So I want to introduce myself. Hey, my name's Kirk. I've been here for 3 years. How you doing? None of that was, none of those procedures was taken. It was just more so jumping on my ceiling instead of coming downstairs. Hey, excuse me, my name is Whoop Whoop. I just moved here. I have a problem with the music. Do you mind turning it down? I would have easily said, oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I've been here for 3 years. None of my neighbors never came to me and said, hey, your music loud. It's other people in the apartments who play loud music, and then it's not illegal to play loud music after 11 or something like that. So I have the right to play my music. So I'm just trying to see, like, why stomp on my ceiling multiple times and then try to play like victim, like, because you didn't handle the situation the right way. And this is what I was trying to tell her on January 2nd, because the fact that we just coincidentally happened to come out the door at the same time. So I was just like, well, might as well, since we're here, hey, I'm trying to talk to her, like, what's going on, have a professional grown-up conversation. But her guy was just so trying to be aggressive, and it wasn't the time for that. So that's why I don't know. So with the harassment thing,
Judge Norco or something,
saying I was threatening her, those are just like, I think she just feels some type of way, because the fact that she didn't handle the situation as an adult. Instead of you communicating professionally, you just stomping on somebody's ceiling. That's not the right way to get that's not the right way to get what you want, by stomping on somebody's ceiling multiple times all day, every day. Like, basically what she's trying to tell me is I can't listen to my music. Like, I have to wait till she gone, and I don't even know her schedule. I shouldn't be having to worry about her schedule and when can I play my music. If I pay rent there, that's my name on that. I pay the bills there. So why should I cut my music down? Even like, I'll never have my music loud anyway. So it's like, we live in apartments and the walls are thin. So I know the person upstairs beside me, to the left of me, to the right of me, they can hear it. So I've always been mindful. The whole 3 years there, I've never had a complaint about my music being loud the whole 3 years. The minute she moved into the apartment complex, here we go with the stomping on my ceiling, knocking up, like, just doing all type of petty stuff. And I feel like that's really not fair for you to be petty and then turn around and try to make it seem like I'm harassing you, when really at the end of the day you're harassing me. I don't even know your name. I don't talk to you. But all day, every day, you stomping on my ceiling. All day, every day, middle of the night, in the morning time, in the evening time, you stomping on my ceiling. That's disrespectful. That's harassing me.
All right, hold on a second, Mr. Babb. Anything else you want to say, Miss Pete?
Am I in a 24-hour marathon?
I did, but I can't remember now.
So since the last time the cops were there, you haven't heard anything from him, right?
No, just the music.
Sorry, I missed one, Calmary.
Have you asked the apartment complex to move you? I mean, apartment walls are thin. And what did they say?
They are trying to see about moving me, but my whole thing is, it's not the walls. You live below me. And I have had recordings where I've had to record him playing this music really, really loud just because I shouldn't even be able to get that sound.
We're going to finish this. This is the last case.
But now I'm being displaced.
We're getting through this call.
You sat here and threatened me, pulled a gun on me. I'm not, no.
Right.
I'm not telling you
Here's
to
what
enjoy
I'll
it.
do, okay? I'm just going to give you guys a 30-day, like, chill out. Everybody be cool.
Done.
All right? Because, I mean, this is kind of something that happens. If there was a gun, it's a little much, but 30 days, see how y'all go. Maybe if they'll move you, you can get somewhere else. The apartment complexes, I can't tell you, they're thin. And Mr. Babb can play his music. He does need to be respectful. He says that he is respectful. I mean, I live in a house and I can hear my neighbors next door when they're having a party, but that's just kind of part of life. Everything else that's going in the world, a little loud music, and that really is not a whole bunch. But if there was a weapon involved, that rises to a different level. So, sir, you have to stay like 10 feet away from her when you're at home. Ma'am, does he know is there a certain time at night? Do you have a child that goes to sleep? Maybe that.
I'm about to have a child.
What's that?
I'm about to have one.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, so just you go to bed at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I mean, what is it that he can do to try to accommodate you to make things a little bit better?
We've already established that he needs to stop playing this album.
Well, I'm not going to make him stop playing his music, ma'am.
So I can just leave. Then I can leave. That's fine. At this point, it don't matter.
Okay.
I don't need to be here.
Well, ma'am, I mean, I'm not going to tell him he can't play his music. But I'm trying to ask you at night, if it's too loud, what time do you go to sleep so that he can try to work with you and be respectful of you as you could be of him? Neighbors and apartments have to be respectful of each other. Is there a certain time? I'm asking you. I mean, do you get up early? So do you need to go to bed by 11 if he could kind of turn it down a little bit at 11? Tell me that. I'm trying to work with you here.
It's like it's her way or no way.
What'd you say, Miss Pete?
I'm home all day. I work from home.
You got to tell me the time, Miss Pete. What's a good time that you want him to keep his music down a little bit? Miss Pete?
And there you have it.
12 to about 9, I guess. It don't matter. I'm just going to leave.
So she doesn't want to solve it. She just
Okay, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? You're just going to leave?
wants
So you don't
to
want the tea. You don't want it. You don't
some
want
guy she doesn't know.
You don't want me to do anything.
What can you do? Because it doesn't sound like
I just said I'll put it in place for 30 days. They'll get you another apartment, but you got to tell me. I go to bed at 11 o'clock, and I'll say, Mr. Babb, do you mind turning your music down, at 10:45 so she can go to bed? That's what I'm asking you, and you're not giving me a time.
I work from home all day, from about 12 to about 11 p.m.
Okay, so you don't own the whole
And then
apartment.
even then, outside of those hours, people are sleeping.
So he can't use his apartment.
I mean, I can't tell him not to play his music. I don't know what it is you want me to do, Miss P. I tell you what. Okay, well, I tell you what. How about this? I was trying to give you a little breathing room there so you can get your other place. How about that, Mr. Babb? I'm just going to deny it if you both place your emails in the chat. Y'all have a good weekend and stay healthy and safe. Once you place your emails in the chat, you can leave. Mr. Babb, keep a copy of place your email in there. Keep a copy of the dismissal order because it can take a week or so for it to come off GCIC.
Talk yourself into denial.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Herring, how did it go?
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke. There's Ms. Delva. Okay, I did speak with Ms. Delva. She does not feel comfortable right now acknowledging service, and that's fine. She's pro se. I don't want to push her to anything. I did ask her just to give me her email address. I'll send her the documents anyway.
Another one.
And if she wants to at least look them over and talk to somebody and see about acknowledging, but as of now, she doesn't feel comfortable moving forward. So We are still, my client is still asking for 3.5 hours. He certainly paid more than 3.5 hours, but the other portion will go to his legitimation. But 3.5 hours at $3.50 an hour is what we actually spent in getting this case ready.
So, Ms. Delva, are you gonna? Is there any time you're gonna allow Mr. Grady to see this little boy, or are you just not gonna allow contact between Mr. Grady and the little boy?
Ma'am, I have done nothing but try to work with a schedule with this man
Okay, so-
over and over and over
Right.
again.
And file a TPO.
I'm sorry, no. He will not. He will not.
Okay, that way he understands that, and they can bring that up,
You are
there.
despicable.
I
Okay.
would hope and I would beg you that if the child gets sick, like I am, or obviously kids get like tubes in their ears and stuff like that, please, at least let him know.
Okay, I can do that.
It's his child too, and hopefully y'all can work on something until then. Miss Aaron, what I'll do is, if you want, you can, we can.
I don't want to do an affidavit. I just want the court to know what I was asking for.
I'll tell you what you want to do. Do you want to do me something, a short paragraph, or add it and send it in the legitimation case, and I'll sign the order that they can take that up in legitimation, what you spent here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you can
That's
just
fine.
send it, and I'll send it there, and that way, who's it assigned to? Has it been filed yet?
It's not been filed yet. We were focused on this, but it's been drafted and it's going to be going out today to be filed.
Okay, so once you get that case number, you can send it to me and I'll sign it so they could take that up in the legitimation case, what was
Okay.
here, and you can let whoever that is know what happened, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you both.
And may we be excused.
Absolutely. Y'all have a
Thank
good
you, Your Honor.
I hope you
Thank
feel
you.
good. You sound horrible, but you look good.
Thank you, Ms. Herod. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. 2 days in a row. Worst live streams on YouTube. Today's live stream was so bad. It was so bad that the SovCit that we started with looks semi-reasonable. No, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. We learned about Judge Manning and her mudding in her Jeep in Vermont. I mean, who knew about that? Although now that I hear it, doesn't surprise me one bit. Oh, we had peeing in trash cans. We had a guy. We had a SovCit in the 36D who gets assigned to 2 judges, but one of them being Lanice Bryant. Oh, that should go well. That should go well. Oh, all right. I hadn't seen that. That was actually a lot of fun. It was actually a lot of fun, but my brain is fried. My brain is absolutely fried. Thank you all for coming out. That was awesome. I will see you soon.